Boop, and now we are audible. I believe that people can hear us, but I'm actually going to have to ask either Elizabeth or Daryl, both of whom are in chat. How's the audio when Adam speaks? Adam, introduce yourself.
Hey, I'm Adam.
There he is. So you guys will have to let us know if loud and clear. Okay, excellent. So I have done my job properly. Jeez, have you been playing the game on controller, Adam?
I've been playing mouse and keyboard.
I am having a vastly preferable controller experience. If you want to try that at some point, that's really just like obviously a feel thing.
Is it that different?
It's very different. It's just way cozier. There's not a whole lot of difference in terms of functionality, but it's one of those games where if you can lean back and kind of chill and vibe with the controller, it suddenly seems like, I don't know why this would be, and I'm totally willing to examine, but like it feels more relaxed all of a sudden instead of like, because Siralim rides that line where it could feel like a super try-hard experience instantly, right?
Yeah, I would definitely say that.
And it helps to fight that, like, it helps to fight that feeling. Mad Hat Raven Desk says, happened to be in the middle of my Siralim run when I got your stream notification. Going to continue on while listening to your stream. All right, cool. Yeah, this is Adam, who's also been doing a parallel run. He's on the stream with me, although we don't have a camera set up for him. He's playing Siralim too. Well, he's playing Siralim Ultimate as well, to be more specific. And we're going to talk about, because we've ended up in very different places and very different experiences with the game.
Yeah, this is kind of okay. I like the controller.
Oh, have you plugged it in and we're trying?
Oh, I always have a controller plugged in. I just stopped using the mouse and keyboard.
Yeah, I think it's cozier. Like, it's not the biggest difference in the world, but it's a difference. Helps you to get out of the whole like intense mode of being hunched over with like games like this that are extremely information dense, or at least they want to be, which is like we've definitely taken a different approach to. Like, I'm a wiki monster, and Adam is like the most classic of classic gamers. He's like, I mean, I don't know how you describe it. You want to like sit in a room with a Game Boy? Like that's
Yeah.
your quintessential experience?
I mean, my quintessential experience has just been like, okay, you get to start a new game now. Figure it all out.
Yeah.
Like, I'm used to like having no information at all presented to me and just going at it. Just, you don't know anything, you're gonna figure out everything the hard way.
No, and you're sharp too. You picked up, like, I definitely would not have picked up on, for instance, the different colored reticule to indicate class
Super effective,
advantage.
not super effective.
Without, well, at least I don't think I would have without wiki monstering. Like, I discovered that only because I was looking at the wiki for, like, it describes the class advantage system in the codex. I haven't been using external wikis, for the record, but in the codex it describes the class advantage system, and when I was going to attack, it was like, oh, okay, this is how that's represented. But I don't know if I would have figured that out just, you know, with zero context. So that was actually, I was really impressed. That was super sharp. All right, let's see. Where am I even starting? Yeah, the game does, for me, it plays smoother and cozier on control. One thing that we have had a very Adam just hasn't gone in at all on macros from what I can tell. And
Yeah,
macros,
no, I've basically ignored it.
so let me break down like my experience of macros for you real quick. So like in games like this, right? There's always this period of latitude early on in the game where the game is like way easier than it needs to be, right?
Yeah.
And that's I think Siralim's got a kind of an ugly version of that. I'm going to go ahead and just like throw that out there right now. But most games have this, you know, Route 1 in Pokemon, easily the first several zones, arguably like the first couple of dimensions or whatever in Dragon Warrior Monster, where you can kind of get away with like just taking whatever monsters you want or building whatever party you want, and holding like basically auto attacking through battles.
Yeah, it's the gist of most of the monster hunting games to start out with. I mean, most of the time they're really meant to be intro, but with this game it kind of took an interesting dynamic where the traits are just innately available, which gives you a little bit more of an edge. I guess you could also argue that it gives you a little bit more of a detriment too, since they also have their traits readily available, but as the player you have a little bit more agency in how you're able to use and abuse them, so it feels more weighted towards the player end, which I feel kind of gives a little bit less of a challenge, but that's just my opinion.
I don't even think we are to the part of the game that is pushing back at all yet, to be perfectly, like, even like you're further than me, and I watched Elizabeth play the game beyond, like, up to where you are, and I'm just watching it. I'm like, okay, the game is just falling over in front of us right now, and I think it's deliberate. I'm holding my breath on this because I think maybe the game is gonna well, everybody who's come in from the Siralim community has said at some point, like, yes, the game definitely gets harder. Like, don't worry about it. But just looking at the setup, I'm thinking to myself, like, okay, you start out and immediately you have more monsters than, like, you've got more party members than the enemy parties do, right?
Yeah, by a substantial margin if you actually went back before the first boss.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and so, like, that's my experience has been playing nice and slowly and wiki monstering, and so, like, or leaning on the codex, I guess I should say. And so I definitely had that party advantage. I had the party advantage, and then I was trying to line up synergies. I had artifacts on all my guys, etc. ad nauseum. So, like, I have been whooping the game up to the point where I am, or it feels that way. It's not pushing back very much, but what I've noticed is, for example, like, enemy monsters very rarely have spell gems. You can see them on the inspector, I guess, if you, like, inspect the monster and you tab over, you can see what kind of spell gems the enemies have, but they have very few. Some of them don't, really. They just auto-attack. And what I'm guessing is that more and more systems that you're introduced to, they're going to slowly tack those onto enemy combats. And so I think that the difficulty curve of the game is such that, like, what happens is you get this latitude because they want you to be able to explore and to play with your party and make mistakes, and have the game have a player advantage on the monsters over the enemies, while you're kind of figuring out all the different intersecting systems, because there are quite a few of them, right? There are definitely some that we haven't even encountered. Like, I don't know what relics do yet.
Yeah, there's quite a few of the systems that they kind of hold off on, like with cards. I don't know what the cards are going to be, but in the future I hope to know. But, like, I'm assuming that it's just all, for the most part, either stat increases or, like, extra enchantments that you could focus on when it comes to the different pieces of gear that you could equip on things. What is...
I have been pretty impressed, like, repeatedly. Okay, I started out, like, wanting to talk about macros, but I launched into a bunch of other stuff because there's a whole bunch of foundation for, like, why I want to talk about macros. And the reason I brought up the difficulty, the easy part of all of these games, these Monster Tamer games, right, is because when you come into a game like this as a player who likes to optimize, like, you wanna dominate the content, you wanna, play well, basically, right? Like, the first thing you notice with a lot of these games is, like, okay, it's very optimal in terms of, like, my time if I build a team that can just attack every turn, right? Because that's always the first option on the menu. All you have to do is press A, and if you just press A repeatedly, you basically just get attacks, right?
Yeah.
And so, like, a really obvious optimal strategy as soon as you come into a game like this is you're like, well, okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to build a team that just attacks so that I don't have to take a lot of time with combat. And that's very sad, especially because, like, a lot of these games do things that I think are cute, like adding a turbo function so that you can, combats can be a little faster, speeding up combat, removing animations, all that sort of good stuff. I like those. I I like those additions to the game. I think you may have like, we may be able to talk about that in terms of like adverse effects as well. But
Yeah.
what I want to point to specifically here is that if you are going to grease the wheels like that, if you're going to make the game a little more convenient and faster in terms of combat, the problem is that reinforces that brain dead attack based team, right?
Yeah, I definitely got sucked into that.
Yeah, like as soon as you realize, well, okay, the game allows me to turbo, the game allows me to remove the animations, and the game encourages me to grind, you go, well, I just want to make the most simple, straightforward team so that I don't have to think about it, so that I can grind optimally, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, here's the thing also that in the first world, there's even 2 monsters that synergize purely off of attacks, where the Terror Hound will go over and give you additional attack triggers off of the Wolf buff, where it'll be dealing increased off of every auto attack that you do, and the Centaur Ranger also gets additional attacks for everything on your party that has gone before it, in addition to the wolf. So it's just a flurry of auto attacks, and then you could do things like chance on hits, and it just devolves into this auto attack spectacle.
I'm going to check this right now. I remember bringing this up on your stream. Yeah, it is based on casts. So if you want to do that with the Centaur Ranger, you actually have to diversify. You have to do casts. So like you only get extra attacks based on the number of creatures that have cast since the Ranger last attacked. So that one does kind of force you to, but I take your point. I think actually the stronger example for exactly what you're trying to talk about is the Bard Balladeer. This guy says your creature's attacks deal 50% of their damage using speed instead of attack. And the Dire Wolves are also based on speed. They're actually minions. This is a really weird thing that I'm not sure how I feel about, but if you like check in the codex, and I don't know if you're checking this out, like I am pawing around in the menu at the moment.
Oh no, I'm watching, I promise.
If we go in to the status effects panel, we get all the status effects here. These yellow ones, all of the yellow ones, there's like 2 pages of them. These are all minions as far as I can tell. And they actually work kind of differently. They all refer to a master, and the master is whichever minion triggered them, I'm guessing, or like whichever minion they're attached to. I don't actually think it's which one triggered them. I think it's whichever one they're attached to. By like casting one of these on somebody, I think you make that its master. And so like Direwolves, right? The Direwolf attacks. It's like it attacks as well. It's like the buff is a minion and the minion is attacking. And the buff deals damage equal to 30% of the master's speed. And can stack up to 5 times. So if you get something like the Bard Balladeer, which is causing creatures' attacks to deal damage based on speed, and you add in a Terror Hound for the Direwolf stuff, yeah, you're just going crazy. You're just like hold down auto attack and go, right?
Yeah, you're just watching everyone just die.
And yeah, the game has been super easy so far. Not gonna try to cheek around that one. No, you were saying?
Another cool one, if you haven't seen it, is the Vulpus. Like,
Oh.
the Vulpus gets the, like, it has a chance of triggering free casts, like, right at the beginning. And some of these casts are really powerful if you set up, like, geez, what was it called? It was Blood something or other.
That is the first one I actually leaned on. First creature that I was like, that's powerful, I'm leaning on that. I took the Vulps. Let me look up Bloodburst, though. What's it do?
Bloodburst,
I don't even have it.
Deals damage equal to the amount of HP that they have. Like, to a certain percent. I think it's like, it deals 1% for every 2% of HP that they still have.
This is actually one of the things that I really like, is that, like, I noticed that Elizabeth during her playthrough got a whole shit ton of different spell gems than I did. You played a little bit fast, so I couldn't tell with yours, but I know you also got a bunch of different spell gems than I got. And so as far as replayability goes, like, that's an interesting, like, difference that you can have in terms of run, is apparently you can just get completely different spell gems from the start of the game, like, as you go. It doesn't care about what order it gives you those in. It's the monsters at first are dependent upon the realm that you are getting to, I think. So, like, all the Apochronyx, like the Hunter God realm, has all the same mods at first, and then the Winter realm, and then so on. So you get exposed to the same monsters in the same order, I think, until you get to like realm 15 when a whole bunch of monsters hit the field, or maybe it's always in the same order. There are 1,200 monsters, so there's going to be a lot of shit eventually.
Yeah.
The thing that I'm going to go back to now is about the macros and why I like them. Macros are something where a lot of players are just going to hate this, and I think you might be one of them. So you can definitely like describe this in a different way. So this is the macro I set up for my Yeti, my Cold Slam Yeti. So let me go over this really quickly. My Cold Slam Yeti, right? When he provokes, you know this. When he provokes, each enemy has a 50% chance to be afflicted with Frozen.
Yes.
He's also the only magic guy that I have access to right now, or the only one that I wanted to use. And so what I did was I put this Rabid Dementia spell on him, right? 20 charges.
Mm-hmm.
And you can target one of your allies, and it says that the target, so let's just say the target ally in this case, the target ally attacks a random enemy for 200% of normal damage, right? So my Animatus is huge. He's a big boy. He does a lot of fucking damage. So the thing that I thought was like, well, what would I like to have? I would like to have people casting Rabid Dementia on him, because that's better than them spending a turn attacking by themselves, right?
Right.
But I want my Yeti to provoke at least one time, because I want him to try to get that freeze out there. So what I did was I set up a macro. I thought, okay, well, I want him to do this, but I also want to be able to hold turbo, right?
Right.
And so the way that you do this and you set up a smart behavior is you set up this macro. So you go to your macro, and the one that I set up was, okay, if this creature is on turn 1, he provokes. If he's not on turn 1, then you check the next line. And the next line says, if ally number 3, so that is my Animatus, has better than 0% health. So if my Animatus isn't dead, cast Rabid Dementia on my Animatus, basically. And the way that you do this is you just add lines, and they've got like all of these conditional lines. If enemy 1, if ally 1, if this creature, if an enemy creature, you start that, and then you have all these conditionals. And you just make these lines. And what's interesting about this is that you can really make very advanced behaviors out of this, because I don't think there's a limit to the number of lines that you can add. So you can make them long. So you can make them check. Well, yeah, it's a very advanced thing. But what's nice about it is that you can make them check like all the HP on all the enemy monsters to see like which is the lowest, have them target the lowest one, stuff like that. If you're willing to put the time in up front, you can make really advanced behaviors out of this. And that's fantastic, because that means that I can get that kind of optimal grind speed where, okay, I'm an optimal player, or I say I'm an optimal player. Look at me and my modesty. I want to approach the game in an optimal way. Like I'm trying to strategize and be an effective player. So I know that my time matters, because I don't want to spend a million years doing something ineffective. So I do want to take advantage of turbo and stuff like that. But I don't have to just be an auto attack brain dead now. I can actually take advantage of those really strong, versatile team comps that have like advanced setups and stuff like that. I just have to actually spend the time up front to build a macro that will deploy that for me in a variety of situations. And then I can just hold turbo. So I can build interesting compositions, like interesting teams, instead of just like, okay, well, turbo's available, so I may as well just make my guys attack. And for me, that's really brilliant. And of course, like, a lot of people don't want to deal with macros, and I understand that. Like, macros are not exactly the most fun to put together, but I think that having the option there allows a player who's here for sort of building an interesting team or whatever to get out of that, like escape that trap where you get trapped into building the auto team, you know?
Yeah. That makes sense. Like, I mean, me personally, I would rather have a team where I could just deploy crap tons of debuffs and just watch them just fall apart otherwise, but like,
well,
so
I think
far
you
I
can.
haven't been able to really find anything that has really supported that, excluding my class perks.
Oh, dude, you're definitely going to be able to build some obnoxiously powerful stuff in here. Like, I'm looking so very forward to us taking and putting together those like highly thematic builds and just stomping all over the like floor 3000 or whatever.
Is there PvP here?
I don't know.
Does this game have
I bet
PvP?
it seems like the sort of game where you could easily implement PvP, and so I think maybe, but I don't know. That will be very that'll be very interesting if they play PvP, because then we'll probably have like 7 or 8 teams and we'll just like pit them against each other to see what happens.
Yeah, if there's PvP, that's gonna be awesome. Like,
Oh yeah,
I'd
lots
love
of
to
fun.
see what exactly you'd min-max for.
Well, one of the other things that I think that I was working up to a little earlier is the developers have access. Like, one of the things I appreciate about this game, I'm not taking this in order, so I'm gonna start like striking out things so that I keep my
Oh, that's fine.
notes straight. Where is this symmetrical? I just want to type in the word symmetrical. Yeah, the symmetrical combat. The symmetrical design is really fascinating to me, right? Like, everything that you get it by encountering it in the wild, pretty much, like in terms of monsters. So if you can put a monster on your team, you have seen it in the wild, which means that like every time you expand your own power ceiling by encountering new tools, typically those tools are being introduced into the enemy combat. And one thing that I've seen on your run that I haven't experienced personally yet is that kind of nemesis combat where you find a group of monsters that's got like a leader monster, and it seems like those are more diverse enemies. And I bet they come with more spell gems and maybe are higher level. And I bet eventually that those monsters will also be fusion monsters that come with traits. And I bet that they'll start putting artifacts and augmented spell gems.
Yeah, no,
and
that
stuff like that
comes later. Like, no spoilers, but like it definitely adds on more things as you go. Like, I've noticed that I've been getting either more debuffs or just like larger hits rather than just auto attacks from my team. Because like one of the more interesting characters that you're probably going to wind up fighting is probably going to be around the 3rd or so realm that has basically counter damage, where it deals extra damage based off of how much damage it took prior to it being able to attack. And it is just the
Brutal.
most annoying thing if you don't have anything that is super effective against it. Like, you have to really keep an eye on the lineup to make sure that you aren't just going to be decimated on the next one.
Yeah, what I'm really looking forward to is the curve kind of catching up to the effort that I'm putting in up front. That's the one that looks like a house, right? Oh yeah. Oh, that's the frost guy there? Oh no, he's talking about a debuff, I think. It may be a different thing. Elizabeth
No,
was
I'm
asking.
talking about a totally different monster, not
Oh,
one
an
that I'm
innate
facing
trait.
currently.
Okay, the gargantuans. I've seen those. Yeah, those are wacky. I was wondering if I should like combine that with a cold slam yeti once I get fusion or whatever in order to like but the problem with that is that the cold slam yeti provokes and then freezes and then less incoming damage. Like, so it naturally decreases the incoming damage, where that's kind of backwards from what you want with that. You just want a really high HP pool so that you can soak up more damage and then one-shot things.
Right.
But yeah, I'm really, really excited to see. I find the symmetrical combat and symmetrical tools kind of interesting. This is a game that very, very clearly, like, basically all it cares about is team building. Where is my timer? What in the heck? Yeah, basically, there it is. Basically, all this game cares about is team building, and there's you had a different experience with this, and I kind of want to toss my perspective out there and see what you think.
Okay.
So I heard, well, it sounded like you were having like a pretty bad time with the idea that like Siralim, your home base, is totally separate from the realm. And what they do is they make it. This is a very, very clear cut thing. You can modify your party and stuff before you deploy them. Like, you can rearrange your creatures. equip and unequipped artifacts, spell gems, all that stuff. In Siralim in the home base, there's a very clean separation. You are not allowed to do anything that involves messing with your team in Realm.
Yeah.
And I think this is interesting because what it does is it means that as the game difficulty ramps up, you have to put together a versatile team that can handle whatever situations. Yes, whatever situations you see yourself bumping into. And you have to do that in advance. You have to be thoughtful about your team composition, because if you don't, there's none of that shit that exists in other Monster Tamer games and party builder games where, well, I've just encountered this boss, I saved right before the boss beat me, I'm going to reload and I'm going to reshuffle my party. If you don't deploy a party that can handle the realm, you're going to get kicked out of that realm. Like you're going to lose the realm and that's it.
Yeah, no, that's pretty accurate. I mean, it definitely brings like a different type of difficulty when it comes to variety, because like one of the things that they do though in this game is that even when you lose to a boss, you're still able to teleport directly to the boss room once you lose. So it's not exactly a huge issue when you lose, because you'll just be able to go over and change your party composition and then just immediately retry on the next boss. But
I'm thinking about stuff like the little mini bosses and the nemesis fights that are probably eventually going to become really, really hard, hopefully. Oh, a lot of what you lose is streak bonus, Elizabeth says. And yeah, I think that is relevant. I think that, like, as we go on, there's 1,200 monsters and a whole bunch of shit we haven't seen. I'm guessing some of that shit is stretch shit where you actually have to grind for quite a while to get to it. And I'm thinking that, like, losing your streak bonus is probably pretty devastating eventually if you're going for, like, those really stretch monsters or whatever. But that's optimistic speculation, right?
I mean, like, we can always go over and hope that, but it's more important on like what the streak bonuses actually provide to kind of give context, because they've been pretty generous for most of the game when it came to a lot of the currencies that you actually have to use later on in a lot of the different systems, like with blacksmithing it's brimstone, with enchanting it's crystals, and they've been a little bit more sparse when it comes to the upgrading of materials that would apply additional effects, like how artifacts would be able to add on additional traits, or enchanting has different spell modifiers that you could add on to for your spells, obviously. Like cast on attack or cascading, or like just different traits that would add on, like if your auto attacks have a 50% chance to cause curse, stuff like that, like just little things that they could add in and implement. But
no, I think that those no, go ahead, sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead, I was done with my point.
I think that those things, I see those things very slightly becoming more and more proliferous in you and Elizabeth's runs, which is, you know, all I have access to in terms of gauging this. And I think they're probably going to become, you know, more and more proliferous. So I think that we're going to have more and more access to those kinds of things as we go on. And what I'm wondering is, because I feel you on, like, the optics of the game are terrible from the outset, number one. Like, the whole thing looks like a shitty Game Maker game. And when you log into a game, when you first start a game and you start out with 5,000 of every currency type, you're immediately, like, tempted to throw your arms up. Like, you know, what is this shit? Give me a break. Why do I have 5,000 of everything to start with? But I have noticed, so, like, I ran myself out of brimstone pretty early because I was upgrading my artifacts to the maximum level number of slots and trying to slot them in, like, as soon as possible. And I also wasn't doubling back at all. I haven't doubled back to do any, like, grinding. So I ran myself out of brimstone pretty quickly. But the other resources, yeah, I feel like they've been a little bit more generous. I think if I had played the evoker class, I might have run myself out of actually, I think I did run myself out of crystal at one point. So it is, what I'm saying is it is possible. If you're riding at the top of the curve, like if you're doing as much as you can with your party, I think you can actually run yourself out of these resources. Right now I have banked a good like 30k, but you know, 30k doesn't get you that far with these crystal things. It's like, you know, maybe like 10 upgrades or something like that, plus like a couple of skill gems. But what I am wondering, and what I think, if I had to speculate, because I don't know, I know there's a thing called realm instability, right?
Yeah.
I know there's a thing called realm instability because it's referenced somewhere in like the codex or whatever. It's referenced like right up in the realm when you're in the realm. I think it's like realm instability 0, and that's obviously like a difficulty modifier that you can apply. And I'm wondering because that's probably going to cost power or something. Like things that modify the realms are probably going to cost power. And I'm wondering if there's more currency sinks basically than we've come into contact with yet. I bet that there's a bunch of systems.
I mean, I know for sure that power is also used for like choosing specific areas that you've
Yes.
already beaten. So like if you've already beaten the first realm and you want to go back and redo certain things on the first realm, or even just hunting for like certain knowledge for certain creatures on the first realm, you'd have to pay 1,000 energy.
I actually
And
wonder. Sorry, go ahead.
like that might introduce like kind of a limiter on what you can and can't use for like choosing your fusions a little bit more carefully, since you'd have to spend more power later on down the line to get better creatures.
Yeah,
Because
that's
like this is still just the first realm, so 1,000 seems cheap now, but when we're going over and diving into the harder content, like maybe the EX fights, stuff like that, where we're gonna need certain traits that are way down the line, like it might be up to like 30,000 power to go over and redo this one run to maybe get enough knowledge to go over and get this one creature that you need to fuse for.
yeah. No, I think probably what we're gonna see is new intersecting systems pop up that like that in order to ramp them, like say if you want more realm instability, say you need more realm instability in order to see a certain kind of monster, like certain monsters just won't show up unless you pay for like an extra thing with power or something. I'm betting that there's systems that are going to show up that are going to make that currency management a little bit more of a trade-off, a little bit more of a cost-benefit analysis, because like I keep thinking that the game is going to suck. I keep thinking it. Like I'm like okay, I'm sure these systems are going to be garbage, and then they end up not being, like, just not being garbage by like my definition of it, which means that mostly what I'm looking for actually when I say it's like not a garbage system, what I mean is there's a trade-off. Like there's some kind of cost benefit built directly into the choice that the player has to make with regards to your team building. And I think that that's probably going to happen with the resources as well, based on like how consistently the game devs have done a good job forcing me to make trade-offs with regards to how I'm building my party. I'm thinking like there's no way that this resource management game is going to be trivial forever. Especially because like, you know, I'm looking at stuff like the emblems, right? And I'm wondering like, okay, what kind of cool shit is gated behind that? Because that seems like way more like the important grind, emblems and favor and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I'm betting there's situations where you probably pay like different kinds of resources. Like maybe you can pay for like favor and power to unlock a certain realm or something like that. I don't know. This is pure speculation, but I think I'm holding my breath on that one, because I feel you. Like I think your impression of the currency system has been that like it's a little bland and they're throwing way too much currency at me, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
For the most part, yeah.
So I'm holding my breath because I'm kind of with you on that. I kind of think so as well myself so far, but also I'm kind of waiting for, because every time I suspect that the game is just going to suck, like a system comes up that I wasn't expecting. Like the fusion came up and it was like, I was totally expecting it to be like a rehashed Dragon Warrior monster thing where like they just allow you to fuse indefinitely, and that it would like somehow multiply your stats, and that it was just going to become like a breeding grind. And I really like the limitations on the fusion, and I know that there's like, I know you have mixed feelings about that as well, but you like take the floor. Sure, talk about fusions for a minute if you've done them more than I have.
Well, I mean, fusions are okay. Like, one of the things that you really have to consider when fusing is that it takes the average of both the creatures. So fusioning early is still like it's still okay too, because like it feels like it doesn't even matter on that regard either, because when you go over and fuse the monsters, they don't start back at level 1 either, like depending on how high you actually waited to fuse for, because I've had fusions where it just ends up me being still like level 5, something similar to that, and like I just had to kind of just bear with a useless party member for a little while. But the XP catch up, it's not terrible, but it also kind of like it's dynamic
Eventually, you
for
can also
each
pay the lab
individual
guy.
creature.
You can also pay the lab guy to level your creatures later on.
Yeah.
I only know this because Elizabeth popped open her lab guy, and like down the bottom it says level up, and she immediately tried to use it, and it just told her to fuck off. So, like that unlocks later at some point, I'm assuming, and alleviates some of that as well. But
There you try to bypass.
you were saying you have to pay attention to the base stats. I think this is a really good point. When you fuse creatures, it does not fuse their current stats; it fuses their base stats. And I think then it combines their XP and re-levels, so it applies that retroactively. So like, what ends up happening is you have like a creature with the combined base stats. So base stats, I looked this up in the codex. This is not something where I got. Yeah, it gives you the average values of the base stats is what it mixes. I looked this up in the codex. All creatures have a stat growth based on their base stats. So like, if your base strength is 25, you're going to get a percentage of 25 every level or something like that. There's some kind of math.
You get like 30% on all of the stats that aren't directly affected by your personality, in which the positive of the
40,
personality
20.
would be 40%, then yeah, 20.
Yep. So that's going to be like, those pieces are very simple to, I appreciate this system because those pieces are very simple to keep track of. They're deterministic, so it's never different. It's not like, if you can lock in a creature that you bred two kinds of creatures, used one as the main parent and one as the secondary parent, and got a specific personality, that creature is that creature. That's deterministically the same creature every time. You don't have to like, you don't have to do this thing where you grind endlessly to hope to luck out on like your EVs. Which, you know, for some people, I think that massive, staring down the barrel of that massive grind adds something, and I'm not going to say that there's no value there, but for me, I'm happy to be able to just like get a creature with no regret on the first go, as long as I do something like, as long as I lock in the important pieces, if that makes sense.
But well, I mean, another great thing about the fusion and about this game specifically is that it kind of took a page from, like, not only Dragon Warrior, but also the new Pokemon has been doing this too, when they introduce mints, where there are now items that can go over and change the personality of the creature that you have. Like, in this one, it has personality codexes, so it's a little bit easier to go over and manage what stat growth you actually want later on down the line, when you actually need one specific creature to have, like, a higher, like, base speed, and don't really care too much about the intelligence, because it's only about base speed. You know what I mean?
Yeah, when you figure that out later on, and you're like, actually, it's very important for me to have this particular personality, you're likely to have like some kind of personality tome that allows you to manipulate that retrospectively, which I think is really cool, because, you know, the alternative to that is, well, okay, you got to go back and re-level, grind, go get 2 copies of that creature, and that seems more like a chore than like a strategic decision to me.
I'm gonna guess that it's going to be given to you later on, like the ability to go over and buy the tomes. Like, I'm assuming from
maybe.
I mean, I'm just guessing here. Like, I've gotten one from a drop, so
me too.
Like, I know full well that they exist. I just assume that eventually later on they're gonna let you just choose one.
Especially with, Elizabeth says, oh yeah, especially with spell modifiers that say potency based off X stat. Oh yeah, that sort of thing. I actually wonder if that sort of thing increases with, I haven't like checked, and I don't necessarily know, but I'm wondering if potency or whatever increases with upgrades directly, or if this just unlocks, if it just unlocks. So I've got this equipped, so I'm just gonna pump it. See that? That didn't like, didn't look directly like it upgraded the anything inside of the shock description itself, but it eventually gave me an empty property slot.
Yeah.
And I cannot upgrade this beyond 5 until I, you know, get to work on my projects. So, like, I'm wondering if you can affect the best and worst part is getting all this info straight up. As you play and get deeper, all this stuff you wrote off earlier becomes so much more important. Well, that's exactly the experience that, like, I think a lot of Cosmin, tones are just random always. Yeah, do not want direct answers to these questions if you can avoid it. Very much appreciate like the sentiment, but from here on out, I think if we can avoid direct answers to curiosities, or maybe just ask first, because we want to make those stupid mistakes. Adam and I talked about this for a long time today, trying to figure out like exactly what we want out of this. We want to make the dumb mistakes. We want to go into the game, and maybe exposing each other to some mechanics is fine, but getting authoritative answers
like
from
the speed thing was inside the codex too. I just didn't read the codex.
Yeah, no,
Like
exactly.
the wolves and stuff, yeah.
Yeah, that sort of thing is, but I only got that through direct exposure to the game, and that's important. Like the osmosis of information between you and me is going to be from us both getting the information directly from the game. But what we don't want is like an authoritative fan from the community, well-intentioned as it may be, coming in and like giving us a piece of information that completely changes the strategy that we're going to use. And that could be anything. So it's really hard to mitigate for that. So anyway, thank you. Super, no big deal, Cosmin, by the way, but, thank you for respecting that, because I am going for a different kind of a experience here than I usually do, and I appreciate it. Okay, so yeah, the quality of life stuff, all the quality of life stuff. I actually appreciate all the quality of life stuff. Turbos, this includes like turbos, macros, reducing the the combat animations, making stuff faster, that sort of thing. Do you want to pitch like a different perspective on this? I actually think they did an okay job.
I mean, for me personally, a lot of the time whenever I'm playing through a game, I typically try to ignore any of the quality of life stuff just because I want to kind of experience the game on its own without any of the additional modifiers. Like, even though like it's gonna be a little bit slower, I feel like I get a little bit more out of it. Like, even the animations, just like, it's kind of like just giving yourself a little bit of time to appreciate the whole work, instead of just like getting straight through it, even though I've been basically just getting straight through it.
No, yeah, I respect that. I think that's like, that's fair. I think I treat the quality of life toggles kind of the same way that you treat the difficulty toggle. You're like, the game's not pushing back enough, and I'm like, I'm effectively optimizing for my own fun with the like speed toggles and stuff, so that I can spend more of my time engaged with the part of the game. And I think this is actually almost the same exact thing, right? You cranked the difficulty setting up so that you could spend more of your time focused on like the in-combat portion of the game. And I kind of, I'll crank probably the quality of life stuff and make macros so that I can spend as little time as possible. Yeah, more time with the party building specifically, like the Siralim half. Like, I'm in here, I'm looking at stats, I'm figuring out which monsters go together and stuff like that. It's really just like optimizing for the sort of experience that you want to have. I like the options that are available for it, though. I like how they're organized. They seem sensible. There's actually a movement speed one that I toggled on for a minute and then toggled right off because it felt like I was fucking
going too fast,
piloting on a racetrack. Yeah, for sure. All right, let me strike that. What's going on next? Oh yeah, fusions. We talked about fusions. I like that limitation. I was a little disappointed
with the random for the teleporter. Like, how it says that you could go over and choose a random realm to go over and get teleported to, but it's basically just like all of realms that you've done before.
Yeah, it's a random out of this list, right? Basically.
Yeah, I was a little disappointed from that. I was kind of hoping that it would be just like a random one, like, oh, you just found an island type deal. But I think I was just too optimistic in that assumption.
I wonder if that's gonna open up. You know, I don't think I would mind if it opened you up to all of the realms at once at that depth. Like I actually think I agree with you here. I think that is a little disappointing, to be honest, because here's what it is. You think like random realm opens you to like Siralim rocks. Yo. Thanks for coming by, Corgi. Yeah, I think that this would be a way better, and I don't know, again, I don't know how this is going to change, because, for example, like, it seems like you can't choose random realm until you've cleared the quest, the story boss of, like, the realm type. Like, I can't choose the random realm thing for any of these last 3 realm depths, but...
Oh, yeah.
I don't know how it's going to change in the future, if the random realm is going to change at all, in terms of its functionality, but right now... all that it is a free power trip to somewhere, like a free power trip to Grindville.
Sending you on a power trip.
And that's it's pretty unexciting. Basically, it's like, okay, well, 1,000 power is pretty much trivial amount of power. I actually tested it. Like the one time that I went back, I was like, okay, I'm testing this random realm thing, and I paid attention to the power I was getting when I went through the random realm, and I was like, okay, I got at least 1,200 power back from the first time that I went to a random realm. And I'm like, well, if this is, you know, this is my realm depth 3 random realm, then there's no way I'm getting less power as we go forward in the game, right?
Right. Although they have been pretty consistent with, like, the average amount of currency that you get, like, per realm, even though you've been going to higher realms. Like, I still average out around like between 1 and 300 currency per like drop that I get. Like even just now I just opened something and it gave me around 239, and I think I'm on the 4th realm since or 4th or 5th realm. I think I'm on the 5th realm. But like the currency still averaged out to about what I was receiving in realm 1 too. Like with destroying just the little things on the map, it'll still give me something similar to like 50 something of any currency, and like, so they stay consistent for the most part on like how much you actually receive. So I'm kind of not looking forward a little bit to what that kind of entails, depending on like the creep when it comes to currency being paid out later. Like with how much you actually invest in artifacts, the artifacts actually cost a little bit more when you reach the higher levels. And because of that, like inflation with that, while not inflating on what you'd actually find out in the world, that seems a little bit telling on what potential grinds we have to look forward to.
This is exactly the sort of thing where I look at the system and I go, okay, this game has continually impressed me by not sucking, and you've just proposed a way in which the system, you know, seems like it could suck to you, right? I want to spin that on its head real quick.
Sure.
One thing you were complaining about, and I don't know where you've landed on this as of right this second, but like the currencies being way too proliferous, right? You're like, you and I are both like at this point, we're like, well, we're drowning in currency.
Right.
And it's like, well, okay. But wait a second. Like, this is why we're like, we're drowning in currency. That looks like it sucks. And then you look at, like, you're looking at your income and you're going, this really isn't scaling. And I'm going, ha ha ha, I think I see a pattern. And you know what what I'm seeing here is, it looks to me like you're probably not going to see an absolute value increase, because what they want you to do is they want you to win streak. They want you to build a powerful team that never dies, so that you can actually build momentum with regards to those gods in those particular realms, so that you do get, because I actually didn't notice that the absolute value is staying the same, because I've not died yet, and so I'm actually getting, considerably more each time, because I'm stacking up those god buffs from having not died in that realm for a long time. And so what that says to me is, we're going to reward you for putting together a strong team, by giving you this momentum that's going to increase the the return on investment for going to these realms, so that you can pay for those higher costs later. But if you can't demonstrate to us that you're good enough at the game to put together a strong team and not die repeatedly, then we are going to nerf your income, which is going to put like a soft cap on your progress or slow it down. And I actually like that as a potential dynamic.
Yeah, I think that would be pretty interesting, going over and kind of keeping you at the level of what they think that you actually are. Like, regardless of how much actual grind you put in, odds are there's going to be, at some point, a shop cap that's going to be just exorbitant amounts that you really have to either invest in, like, repeatedly running through the lower realms, which is going to cost you energy, or basically just sitting there and trying to figure out a better way to make a team. It's
Yeah,
one or the other.
I'm guessing there's incentivizing streaks over death rush. Yeah, I'm guessing there's that's what Elizabeth said in chat. I think that's what I'm anticipating, is like some kind of system that continually rewards you in terms of more return on investment, more income, more currency back. And I'm expecting the currency sinks. Like, okay, I'm paying for skill gem augments. I'm paying to buff my realm so that I can get, cooler monster types or more returns or whatever, or I'm paying for like the artifact upgrades, whatever it is. Or I don't know what other currencies there are actually. I'm like whiffing on this right now. What is
Brimstone, essence, power,
granite? There we go.
crystals,
Okay,
and
so like
granite, yeah.
upgrading your blacksmith or upgrading if those things become exorbitantly expensive as the game goes on, I think you're going to be very strongly incentivized to put together a powerful team that can handle the content, so that you don't die and suddenly lose because those bonuses stack up quick, man. It's like I'm getting like double stuff.
Yeah.
So they're very powerful bonuses. Don't take those resources for granted, says Kazman. Oh, I gotta recover from that one. Whew. We appreciate you being here. Okay, yeah. So
dad jokes.
I'm gonna actually put up your stream, if you don't mind. Like, I'm just gonna put you
No,
up
that's perfectly fine. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm gonna put you on here. I'm gonna turn on. Boop. Oh, wait a second. I screwed it up somehow. Oh no, I didn't. I understand. I understand what happened. There we go. Boop. So there you go. You're up on the stream now. He's out there grinding. He's unlike me. He's able to both play and talk at the same time.
Oh, absolutely.
And so rather than watching me run around in circles, I think what it is that I'm just not like, I don't want to grind yet, because I want this experience of like trying to push the content as I'm going. So I feel like I would be, I don't know. I feel like I'd just end up mindlessly grinding if I ran out, which is probably fine. It's probably something I should get used to, considering the game is definitely shaping up to be a bit of a grind.
That's just what I am. I'm just a grinder.
So this is Adam you're watching on stream. I'm just gonna keep talking, and we're gonna talk about more about our experience of what we're doing in the game. He's much further in the game than I am. Look forward to my catching up. I will probably catch up over the next couple of days.
Oh, he's gonna catch me real fast. Like, he actually knows what he's doing. I'm fingering my way through it.
I tend to have a slow sloping exponential learning curve. When it comes to games like this, once I put the pieces together, I get going. So I should launch myself pretty quickly and hopefully catch up before long. And then we will both hopefully have been experiencing, all the same content, and we'll be able to keep doing this every Friday and talking about like how the game has shaped up around like what our expectations were. Let me see. Really encouraged with the alternative combat actions seem. Oh yeah, so like lots of stuff. I'm really, really pleased with the availability of augments to stuff like provoke and defend. Like the fact that you can strap functionality to these alternative combat actions, like you can make provoke do things that make it very much worth provoking, other than like the basic mechanic of provoke, which is everybody attack me. I think that being able to strap functionality to those alternative combat mechanics immediately makes the combat way, way deeper to me. Stuff like the Yeti is 50%. Being able to strap those to spells is rad too. Yeah, so for example, like if you can augment a spell so that when you cast the spell you have a chance to provoke on cast or something like that, or attack on cast.
Or curse on attack.
Yep.
Or bleed on attack.
Yep.
Or damn near anything on attack.
Well,
or
that's
cast.
So you don't even necessarily have to have a team that attacks. Like you probably have a team where nobody attacks. You can definitely have a team where like the monk archetype is like we're gonna. Sorry about the choppiness, by the way. I'm streaming a stream, so it's just gonna be like a slideshow for now, unfortunately. But that's okay. I want to leave him up there while we're talking. I'm really glad that you can build like provoke archetypes or defend archetypes or cast archetypes. I'm way more glad that you can build macro archetypes. That what you can do is you can actually build a dynamic team. Like you can build a team that will react to a diverse array of threats by macroing really advanced behaviors if you want to. I like that a lot. What are your feelings on these systems potentially shaping up? You're like, I'm waiting for it to play out?
Kind of, like, I see macros doing really well later on when we're actually having to go over and basically farm through, like, the infinite scaling dungeons. Like, macros will be a really universal thing to kind of run through that, especially on turbo, to save a little bit of time here and there. But, for the most part, like, I feel that they're just really nice, just... What was the term that you used?
Quality of life?
Quality of life, yeah.
Oh, yeah, well,
I think that they're real nice quality of life, though. Like, I'll probably explore those later on when I'm actually... Like, I don't want to say sick of the combat, but just, like, when I have a more in-depth feel of this and things start to just kind of get easier again, then I'll start to look towards macros. But...
Yep.
I kind of want to keep like the level of difficulty where like I'm somewhat struggling.
You're feeling like you have to be reactive in combat. I'm honestly like I'm the sort of player who's a little more engaged in like pre-planning and a little less engaged in the moment, the turn-by-turn combat tactics. This was actually a massive point of difference between the two of us. Is one thing that we absolutely have to talk about this at some point. Is like. You really dislike the revive and heal on combat end. Am I? Is that a misrepresentation? I want you to speak for yourself, but I'm starting the conversation toward that.
Okay, we're talking about like what revives and potions and stuff to kind of keep you going through the battle. Is that what we're talking about?
No, so specifically the fact that like in this game. At the end of combat, you just universally revive and heal every time.
Yeah, I'm not that big of a fan of that, but like, no, yeah, I'm just not really that big of a fan of it.
So,
what it be?
I have a spin on it, and I want you to, mostly I'm just gonna rattle it off, and then you can respond with whatever thoughts. My spin on this is that, so I like it. And I like it for a couple of potential reasons.
Okay.
One of the reasons why I like it is because from a developer standpoint, it means that every single balancing issue is an issue of balancing around a single combat. The developers can be very confident that you are coming to a fight with full resources, with full health and mana. Or health. The one exception to this in this game, and I'm not entirely sure how I feel about this yet, is the spell gem charges. And I think the spell gem charges, I think the reason that there are charges on spell gems, if I had to take a guess, is so that they could use that as a vector to balance some spells against other spells. So like, well, this spell is pretty much better than this other spell, but it actually has very few charges compared to this other spell. Stuff like that.
Right.
But as far as the revives and the health potions go, that's the mechanic, right? You end the combat and your creatures come back and they're fully healed.
Jeez, he's full red. Sorry.
He's out there. I watched you fuse that guy. I was like, meh.
Look at that thing. What the hell? He looks like a blood blister.
I kind of like how wacky the sprites get in this game. Honestly, they get like really outlandish, and I kind of appreciate that because it means like you're gonna see lots of teams that just look very different from each other at the end of the game.
Look, man, I regret my choice of color palette.
All right, so what I'm trying to work up to with regards to this whole like healing revive mechanic is that if this game goes the way that I think it's gonna go with like unbelievably difficult enemy lineups, what this does is it puts a real emphasis on your ability to build a party that can handle anything. And what the combats are checking for is, can your lineup, can your party that you built actually beat this other party that the devs put together? And if that's true, you win the combat and that's it. And you go and you fight the next combat. And it seems like more and more as the realms progress forward, you're getting more and more diverse combats where like at first it was always the same like 3 lineups in a realm, for example. As you go forward, it seems like there's a lot more random monster arrangements and maybe potentially a lot more nastier monster arrangements, like synergies on enemy teams. And so what this does is it says what the combat is actually a check. Your strength versus this enemy lineup strength.
Right, but if that's the case, why go over and limit the charges on your spell gems? If resources are basically just going to be checks to begin with, why limit one of the resources that you're going to need throughout the battle? In which
Like
case,
I said,
then it would just make you
like I said,
auto attack.
And that is why I brought that up, is because I see that as an outlier to this design. It's like I actually feel weird about the fact that there are skill gems, and so I'm gonna have to temp how I feel about this as I go forward with the game. But I think that I like the design of free revives and heals. If for no other reason than the whole resource management minigame around like healing your creatures after every battle and reviving them after every battle never felt like anything but a chore to me to begin with. I actually don't know if I'm gonna feel better about the skill gem charges by the end of the game or not. But I definitely don't see a real loss or feel that it's a real loss of consequential gameplay or like gravitas, consequential feeling gameplay, to not have to like heal and revive and then go and buy 99 heals and revives when I run out of heals and revives. That was never like a very fun exchange to me.
I mean, I guess, but
Jazzboz says,
feels
sorry, go ahead.
less impactful when every battle you get to start off almost 100%.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's
it's like the spell gems. I'm not gonna count that towards 100.
Part of the thing is that like, if you're smart and you're grinding in a game like this, you could start at 100% in pretty much any game of the genre or archetype. You have to do a chore in order to do it. That involves like navigating submenus, right?
I guess.
And then you have a resource that you can spend on items to keep your health and mana topped off, which becomes like the cyclical resource thing, because almost universally you have more than enough money to buy enough of the consumable items that you keep yourself like topped off. And so I don't know, it always felt to me like this out of the way thing where I would just like go and spend my heaps and heaps of gold on 99 potions, and 99 mana potions and 99 Phoenix Downs, and then you go and you're doing your grinding thing again. And it's like just applying those was not fun. It's like, I get that using them mid combat is an interesting thing, but I actually think that like I'm okay with having that be like the gem charges, to be honest. Like having the consumable combat thing, this may be what they were thinking, is like having all of the consumable combat affecting, like the limited combat affecting abilities be attached to your team also emphasizes team building in the same way. Whereas like potions, like consumable items never were attached to your team in the same way, if that makes sense. They weren't a part of the team building loop. So maybe it's just them continually trying to emphasize that team building element, which is just what I see in every single instance of design here. Like it seems to be the buck stops with team building. Like they keep coming back to emphasizing team building. Jazzboss says, I'm thankful for the auto heal revive because I honestly couldn't balance having to heal my team each fight. In a 1v1 battle system like Pokemon, heal items make sense. In a 6v6, so many things die. It would just be a constant use of heal items. I mean, there are definitely ways to design a system that doesn't fall prey to that trap. Like you could have your master, like not your master, like your avatar character take a separate action from everybody else. Like they have a turn just like everybody else does, for example. But again, I don't know if that adds anything. Pandoramic says, if my grind efficiency is at stake in every battle and I'm dealing with real traits and spell gems on the other guys, then I don't mind starting all the battles on basically even footing. Corgi Pickle Party says, the
Fair.
spell gems... Fair. The spell gems having charges also allows them to make more jobs, since some of the jobs affect spell gem usage. Jobs. I don't know what you mean by jobs, but I think I understand what you are talking
like
about.
Defiler and stuff like that.
Okay.
Like those types.
Yep.
Potentially.
Yeah. So like augment, like spell augments and stuff like that. Intersecting systems. Yeah, I think I can get behind that. Again, I really think like, so I don't mind it for two reasons really. Like on the whole, like to cover the topic backwards. Summarize. It removes something that I really only felt like a chore to me. On the one hand, and number two, it definitely places a really strong emphasis again on team building, which is like this thing where you pre-plan and you bring your party and your party does what your party does. But I do think it's an interesting take to look at it as like, okay, they didn't actually remove consumable items. They actually just shifted them. They actually just shifted them directly into the team building resource management thing. So instead of spending gold on potions, you're spending crystals on spell gems, and those spell gems are regenerating consumables that you strap to your party. It's a very different dynamic, but I don't necessarily think that it's bad, and I'm kind of waiting for it to, like, I'm waiting to see how it pans out.
Yeah.
We shall see.
I mean, I'm just gonna be looking at getting more spell charges on my blood burst because 5 is too little.
Fair enough. Corgi says, yeah, the class you pick to play as like Pyromancer or Defiler. Oh, yeah. Okay, that.
I was right.
Yep. Yes. Definitely stuff that affects charges in there. I'm actually wondering, and don't anybody in chat answer this. I think that there are more specializations that open up later in the game. I know that you get like the opportunity to change specializations later in the game because I'm pretty sure it just mentioned that in like the Steam info. But I'm also wondering if you get more perks later, like for the classes that already exist. As I don't know, but it seems like they were promising a larger variety of perks. Like one page of perks seems a little underwhelming to me. So it feels like you're probably going to get all of those pretty quickly, almost.
This guy is just devoted to Blood Shield. Oh, like he just won't stop choosing Blood Shield. And, like he has damn near impregnable defenses, but just like he keeps hurting himself more than I can hurt him.
He's
okay.
He'll eventually end this combat for you.
Yeah, he'll eventually kill himself, which is just hilarious.
So I'm looking at like knowledge and God favor, right? And the knowledge, there are things strapped to the knowledge that, like, I don't know exactly what they do yet. There's like a menu that says like monster hunt or something like that. Let me actually double check this. Creatures, no, it's bestiary. Oh yeah, there we go. So if I sort by knowledge, I go here. Yeah, there we go. It's like unlock this creature's hunt mission. View, like, so I wonder if there's not like target farming stuff later. I bet there is. I bet there's target farming stuff. I don't know how this is going to work, but I'm actually looking forward to seeing like how the knowledge and the favor systems work out.
Don't they have rare variants later on that even though you go over and kill them, they don't really do anything different? It's just like a cosmetic that you could have later on.
Maybe.
Would that potentially be the hunt mission? Because I know I read that in the codex.
Maybe. I wonder where that is. I definitely didn't see it. Creatures. Skins and accessories. During your trade, you'll sometimes encounter extremely rare creatures that have a unique appearance. After you defeat these creatures, you'll unlock that creature's skin. You can equip this skin to a creature that belongs to that creature's same race, allowing it to take on a unique appearance. You will also sometimes find accessories in treasure chests and other sources of loot. Creatures can equip up to 3 different accessories. Accessories are cosmetic, dude. It's really funny. Elizabeth found a little kobold doll that she gave her Ent. She has like a golden spirit Ent thing, and she just like put this little kobold doll on it, and it looks like it's petting the kobold. It's pretty cute. It's fucking cute.
Adorable.
I'm really happy that the game is so like aggressive about giving you cosmetics and pushing you into like. See, this is the thing that I like about games like this. So this game, its aesthetics are ass, like largely. There's a lot of things that feel like ass about this, right? Like the universe sucks, narrative wise. Like the ludonarrative components are all garbage, as far as I think we're like Adam and I are perfectly in sync on this. The fucking ironic because it's cool way to take the piss out of yourself. Ludonarrative elements that are like,
it's
yeah,
literally meta for being the sake of meta.
Yeah, it's meta because it's so edgy and cool to be meta, right? You can't make fun of me if I make fun of myself first. And it's like, you realize you're making fun of your player base. Like, fucking take yourself seriously. It's fine to take yourself seriously. This is why people like things like Dragon Warrior Monster and Pokemon more than games like Siralim, is because Dragon Warrior Monster and Pokemon, as like whimsical and puerile as they are, as like childish as they are, they take themselves seriously. Like the world takes itself seriously. Like Team Rocket, we know they're a bunch of goofballs, like ourselves, as we are outside of the game. We're like, wow, these are like the most humorous red shirt criminals ever. But like,
yes, they're blasting off again.
As they're blasting off again. But it's like in universe, you know, they still treat them like they're a real problem. It's like, this is the criminal organization in the universe of Pokemon, and we take that seriously because like our Pokemon trainer avatar, our representation of us in universe, takes it seriously. Right? Like everybody else takes it seriously, more or less. And it's like that creates like a coherent, like a cogent verisimilitude. It creates like a feeling of the universe taking itself seriously, and that feeling is great. And I'm so sick of games thinking that this like edgy, self-ironic, self-deprecating kind of lore and dialogue and quest descriptions are clever or somehow like adding anything. All that this does in my submission is drive players away. Players that would otherwise enjoy your game are absolutely going to look at that and be like, oh, well, you're literally insulting my desire to escape for a little while into a fantasy world by like thumbing your nose at me in the dialogue. Fuck you. And they're just going to refund your game and turn around and never look back.
I mean, I would have been so much happier with this game if they would have just actually added in an intro sequence instead of just like, hey, we're gonna go talk to this guy. Don't fuck up while we're gone, all right?
Yeah.
It's like, oh, well, I thought I was the king. Yeah, you are, but you know, we'll take care of it. Don't worry about it. You know, world's ending, gods, all of this stuff. Just shut up and just stay here. Talk to this guy.
Yeah, and then what you're doing feels so disconnected from everything else because the quest line is like treating itself pointlessly. The quest line is like, go and farm for no reason. It literally says just for no reason in the quest text. It's like, or you eat pumpkins and vomit up your resources. Like, oh, you know, it's like, this is so burlesque, so cynical, so satirical. Like, there's no
eating the resources.
Yeah, like
am I congealing food inside of my body into resources?
And then regurgitating it, and it's just like, why does this have to be gross and stupid? It could have just been like cute. It could have just been like, okay, I smash this pumpkin and I find some resources. Instead, it has to be fucking
exactly how anatomy works with resources.
Oh god, it's really bad. So yeah, dialogue for days and none of it matters. Panoramic says, I agree. It's like, you read so much dialogue and all of it is trash. None of it contributes to your experience.
I was so sad because like I saw the things that you showed me about Siralim 3 with like the fucking tiki
Oh, me
angry
too.
guy, and I was just like, yes, yes, belligerent angry tiki
Yeah,
god. And then I
Torun.
get into here and it's just like, fuck you,
Yeah,
go over here
Caliban
and
or whatever his
shut
name
up.
is. Fuck you, Caliban.
Just what?
And
What?
what's his name? Everett, or literally what is his name? Is it Everett? Am I right? It's Everett. Fuck you, Everett. Fuck you, Everett. Fuck you, Caliban. Torun was awesome. Like, I played 5 seconds of Siralim 3, and I was like, this god is angry, and it's amusing. He's the god of anger, and he's just pissed off constantly, and that's like again, that's consistent in universe shit. It's like, okay, he's the god of anger, and he's just gonna like say humorously angry, belligerent things at you all the time. Fantastic.
Yeah, just like,
It was
what's your
cute.
name? John? That's a stupid
Fuck
name,
you, John. John is a stupid name. I hate you. It's just like, it was amusing. It was cheeky. I enjoyed the opening of Siralim 3. I only played 10 minutes of the game before deciding to do this. But I really wish,
I was
they had...
expecting you to want to do Siralim 3 instead of Ultimate, but yeah, like...
No, I want to
It's
do the
fine,
game
too.
with the larger and more refined and expansive systems. Like, I want to know what these developers really want to do with these systems, right? Like, I want the full experience, the final experience, the one that they are like, by calling it Siralim Ultimate, they're like making a statement. They're like, this is, we're more happy with the way that this is set up. I'm like,
Well, we
okay.
could have done Siralim 3 with 1,100 achievements.
Yeah, but Jesus, yeah, okay. You can beat me to the maxed out achievement. Are you a game dev? In the loosest interpretation of the word. I'm a game dev in the sense that, like, I have done some game dev. Like, I have done a very minor amount of programming in Godot. I was a professional artist for 5 years. And I am eventually hoping to make some games. So like, I'm a game dev wannabe. There you go. That's a good way to think of me. I am an armchair dev. I'm a game dev wannabe. I definitely like to take games and, think about them analytically and from a design standpoint, though. So hopefully, I don't know, hopefully people enjoy that.
I like to play them and bitch about them sometimes.
Well, there you go. We're perfect. Perfect for each
That's
other.
what I do.
So okay, I'm gonna cross that dumb shit off. I already talked about that.
If I play long enough, I'll have a good enough amount of shit to bitch about, and we'll find out. But
yeah,
honestly, I don't hate this game. Like, as much
Mhm.
as I talk shit, or as much as, like, I get angry at this game, like, all of my losses are well-deserved, I promise you that. But, like, I don't hate it. It's okay. I like it. I can play
I
this
think
for a couple weeks, see what's
I think
up.
I am actually of two, like, strongly of two minds about it. Is really where I'm at right now. I'm like, this game is like an
Oh my
awful.
God, his face is big. Amazing.
I'm watching you do that. Like, I actually got
Like,
sidetracked
now I'm over
completely
here.
watching you do that. Yeah, they can. I like that monsters can touch the edge of your trail, like the edge of your tail. I think
Yeah.
also that XP is split, so I think if you wanted to do like a one monster team, you could do that, and try to like outpace the game with just one mob that's awesome. But anyway, I think I am strongly of two minds about this game. The aesthetics and the lore are garbage, but I think as far as turn-based RPGs go, it's one of the better arrangement of systems that I've ever seen. And I think it's got infinite replayability in a good way. Like, it's got infinite replayability in the way that, like, it enjoys itself as a sandbox game. It knows what it's about. It's all about the fucking party building. I actually don't know the answer to that EXP one myself. I never looked into it. See, that's a good non-spoiler. That's like, I've never done that. Man, this game has a lot of potential to be
I fucked
like a
up.
very interesting systems team builder sandbox, but it's also like, I wish it didn't look like the cheapest game maker game ever, and like have all of these really hilariously bad optics, where like every convention where if you've ever played a game where you start with like 5,000 of every currency, like 99% of the time, it's a bad game. You are like a reasonable human being if you have a prior against games that start you with 5,000 of every currency type. Like, that is a good, reasonable thing to, like, you should expect a game to be shit if it gives you 5,000 of every currency. So I actually haven't done...
Why are you giving me so much courage, John?
Yeah.
Why are you giving me all the currency now, John? You firing me?
It's like games that do that tend to just drown you in their currency types, and their currency types become really meaningless very quickly, and that's like, you should expect that. There's nothing wrong with that expectation, because if you've played like enough garbage games, you recognize like all these things that garbage games tend to have in common. Siralim is really funny because it keeps throwing these things at me that look like, okay, this is definitely going to be a garbage game, and then all of a sudden it ties it back in a way that makes sense, or it like adds a system that massages it in a way that works. And I'm like, oh, okay, fine. So I'm waiting. I hope they keep it up, and it becomes more and more and more enjoyable the more I play it. But, you know, I'm still waiting for the ultimate betrayal at some point. Jazzboz says, the post game is the actual game in this. So you do reach a point where you go beyond lore and can just focus on the game mechanics. That is patently obvious in the way that the game is designed, because it's basically just waiting to get you like there. Like they don't give a fuck about the lore, they don't give a fuck about the quest dialogue, they don't give a fuck about the flavor text, they hardly give a fuck about the aesthetics, let's be quite honest. And they kind of should. They should care about the setting, and they should care about it being like a good place to exist in, so that people can actually enjoy themselves as they're playing with these systems that they apparently lovingly crafted.
I like the monster designs though.
I like the monster designs too. It's actually, they stand in startling contrast to like a lot of the backgrounds and the tile sets and stuff that are hilariously garish and bad. Like, come on, the realms look so bad. Like, give me a little bit of tile.
Oh no, Realm 4 is beyond bad.
Yeah, the blood one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like
that one is like so obtusely terrible, because like everything is blood. Literally everything is blood, and like there are just smears on the ground that you can't walk on, that are just items that you have to either destroy or like that give you other crap. And it's just like, this is just weird. Like, why do I have to destroy blood stains to do like all this shit? Like, at least the pustules were like, okay, yeah, pustules, cool. Like,
yeah, I mean,
opposite to get some resources or whatever, but like all the rest of it is just like, what the fuck are you doing, dude?
Yeah, so Adam, did you ever actually like, okay, did you ever actually fuck with auto destroy at all? I am like dying to pick your brain about this one, because like it wasn't just me. There were like a couple of people in stream that were like, yo, auto destroy. Auto destroy doesn't like, it doesn't like remove the notification that you got a thing. And in the case of opening a chest, it doesn't even like automatically remove the reward screen. It just automatically interacts with anything you bump into. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So, like, but you really think that's like you're not into that? Like, there's something about that would
like
detract. So yeah, so the stopping and the pressing of a button is actually adds something to you in terms of like kinesthetic interaction with the game.
Yeah, I like the interaction.
Okay, yeah, no, there are people. Sorry, go ahead.
It's physically stimulating when I see something that potentially can give me more, and I get to find out more because I decided that I wanted the more.
Yeah, no, fair enough. I think I'm getting the same kind of thing out of running things over like a fucking monster truck and watching resources pile up. But I don't think there's anything wrong with that. There are people who argue adamantly, no pun intended, Adam. They argue adamantly for, or even ardently, we can go ardently if we want, for things like, it's really important that they click on items on the floor in a game like Path of Exile. Like, the clicking matters to people. And this is like completely blows my mind, because that's an alien thing to me. I'm just like, please, please, please give me give me magnet loot. Like, I want magnet loot. I want it to be automated.
I mean, if they didn't add it, then like I would be just like, whatever, fine. Like, I can deal with not clicking. I'm just gonna run over stuff. But like, the fact that they didn't just make it, oh yeah, just run over stuff to collect, just makes it seem like, oh well, I guess I'm just going to do this.
No, they're also, I think by making it a toggle rather than making it a default, they are acknowledging that there are like players who are gonna prefer to do it one way or the other.
I will click the shit out of those things.
Yeah, no, for sure.
I'm gonna click it.
Panoramic says, I do kind of relate to the navigating the realms as the least interesting part of the game. I want to second this. And I think it's like, it's the one part where I think they are probably not going to abstract it away or automate it in any way. But I honestly think like a game that's this team building oriented, it's almost not important to have the player manually navigating realms. Like, why even? Right? And I think the argument for it is like, well, you can kind of optimize your routing through the realm, and there is a level of skill there in terms of like pathing around and shit like that. But it's pretty low down there on the list of like things that we give a fuck about in this obvious team building sandbox game. Or at least I think so.
I mean, no, yeah. Like, not for nothing, but like, if it was okay, here's where I kind of draw the line. Like, the fact that all of these realms just come together, like, unless it's like a static encounter realm, like, it will always be the same no matter what. If it's procedurally generated, I get a little bit more from that, personally. It's like, I enjoy the randomness of it. If it wasn't, then it wouldn't matter. What I do find really shitty, I really just, I hate that random isn't random, dude. It just pulls from like this list of what you've already done. Like, if they would have just added in like a couple other random realms that are just like some additional content, I would have been like, yeah,
I wonder if there are
procedurally
truly
generated,
random.
yeah.
I have to wonder if there aren't truly random realms eventually where it like smashes like different archetypes of realms together. And by the way, guys in chat, don't spoil me on this. This is fine, because this is the thing, is we are complaining about this right now because we're experiencing it, and it's valid. It's valid to, like, I don't like the random realm option either, because right now it's just a cheaper version of like, you know, and it's cheaper by an amount that's trivial right now. As far as from our perspective, it doesn't matter to not pay 1,000 to go out to a realm. So it's like grind where you want, or grind at random for 1,000 less. And it's like, if you're grinding, you're probably just you're going to choose not to spend, or even if you choose to spend, it just doesn't matter because it's just so little difference. Like, the power expenditure is so little. It just doesn't matter. Jazz Boss says, the best part about the realm navigation is the banger soundtrack, and then in parentheses, depends on the realm, I guess. And I'm like, yeah, I don't know how I feel about the soundtrack. I don't think I feel any better about the soundtrack really than I do about the sprites, which is to say that it's like, they're okay.
I don't hate it.
Yeah, that's like
hate
the
it, but
most.
I can definitely play without sound and still enjoy my time.
Yeah, that's where I'm at. Is it's really honestly not adding a whole lot for me, for sure. Oh yeah, there's like divination candle. There's apparently like divination candle summoning, I read somewhere. And I wonder what that's about. That's like a different way of getting, like, summoning monsters or something. I wonder what that's going to be about. I think we went over this.
Cloud beam.
Oh yeah, I'm pretty interested in exploring archetypes that manipulate enemy combat actions. Like archetypes where you're building a counterattack team, and then you're like
Provoking.
Yeah, you're applying a curse debuff to them and forcing them to attack, because so they damage themselves. You like put the curse debuff on everybody, and then like you can actually, there are spells where it causes all the enemies to attack once or something like that. I bet there are traits that do the same thing. Quit hitting yourself. Yeah, I think there's a lot of interesting potential for stuff like that. Favorite realm music. Sorry, Cosm says, my favorite realm music is one from a realm I don't want to spoil, and my next favorite is another such realm. And then Mortem's realm is my third favorite. Mortem's realm, so like the blood realm that does not look very pretty. He likes the music there. Battle music. Jazz Buzz says battle music gets tiring, but good realm tracks feel really nice. I will like hold my breath on that one because one of the things I'm looking forward to. Well, Adam's more of a narrative guy. He likes a good like a good
Story is
like
everything in
yeah.
my opinion, but obviously wrong.
Obviously wrong. Um, well, that's just the thing is it's never obvious. Like if you have a subjective experience of the video game, I think
Oh
like
no, it's blatantly obvious. You can't play a story. You can play a game, and a game has systems, but you can't play a story.
this is where it's like it's really interesting to talk about like how you're getting your media fix because I definitely go in for like reading. I'm a big voracious reader of fantasy fiction, and so I do definitely prefer my stories in paper and text format. What was I gonna say? Fuck, man. Oh, this is one thing. One thing I do appreciate is how like aggressive this game is about handing out cosmetics. Like, I actually think the cosmetics are a cute part of the game, and I am looking forward to like making a castle that doesn't make me hate myself. Like, I want a castle that does not suck to be in. And right now my castle sucks to be in, so I'm like, fuck this game. But it's giving me so many cosmetics that I'm like, okay, I'm going to be able to make a really cool team eventually. With a really cool skin and have a really cool castle with a really cool OST playing in the background all the time. And I am looking forward to that. I like grinds that like slowly eke out cosmetics so that you can make a happy place to exist in that doesn't make you hate yourself.
Gonna Bob Ross my castle if you don't mind.
Yeah, exactly. Happy little trees every fucking where. Um discuss
Shit,
that.
I got a calendar, I got Chia Pet, I got a little Bob Ross bobblehead that tells me Bob Ross things. I got a little flip book for my desk that has just Bob Ross paintings. Bob Ross.
Playing what you're exposed to creatures makes them feel. Oh yeah, it makes the combat feel almost fair by dint of actually having to encounter them. That's I am like, I think combat feels de facto fairer in this game for the intersection of systems. Like the fact that you are getting stuff revealed to you as you're able to use it, and that's the sort of enemy stuff you're encountering. That is, I think it makes the whole exchange feel very fair. If you are whooping ass with your build, it feels earned, and if you are like, if you eat a loss, it also feels very earned because like you have access to all the tools that the enemies are beating you with, almost certainly. I think that is how it will pan out eventually, although I want to say that like there's definitely a period of like extreme latitude early on in the game. So, but also like I like a period of extreme latitude so that players can come to grips with the systems before the game starts like doing really asinine shit like stacking up like nasty traits together against you in Nemesis teams or whatever is going to happen.
I mean, like honestly, I just can't wait to get to the end game. I just want to see how far they're going to actually kick my teeth in.
I hope so. I've got a hope in me for like the game difficulty. The community has expressed a consensus on this, and the consensus is that
Are they gonna Dark Soul it where you will die?
there's like you're going to get pushback. But I don't know. I definitely have a very different experience from most people with this. Oops. So anyway, that is like the whole like list of things that I had to talk about.
I'm here for the stream, my lord.
I'm here for the stream.
Oh, dude, this happened so recently. It was hilarious. I went to the card store Saturday.
Yep.
and I was hanging out with a buddy of mine. We were just playing Magic as we do every Saturday, and like a guy was standing over near the counter, and his girlfriend sat down at a table just like across the way from us, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he was just standing there for like a good 5 minutes, and then she just turned around and yelled at him, "You are not allowed to spend $200 on cards." And I just turned around right after that and said, "Do it for the meme, my lord."
Do it for the memes, brother.
Yeah,
All right, that is, you know, honestly, I think that might be a good place to like
it was priceless.
cut this stream up. I wonder if I can like make a bookmark or something. Cuz like I think I want to transition into I think I want to play the game for a while. I've actually just been talking. So I may steal back the video capture and actually play a little bit myself.
Oh,
Just
no,
push
feel
through
free.
some
Like, believe you me, feel free.
push through some realms with something on my own here. I don't think I'm going to be able to do any like deep theory crafting work while doing this. I'm actually going to go ahead and change a few settings real quick. Options, battle text.
Yeah, he didn't buy it, by the way.
You didn't? Oh,
No.
come on,
Yeah,
freedom.
no.
Freedom.
What a plebeian.
Sovereignty.
I guess he just as an American 'cause he didn't believe in his freedom.
All right, let me see. Turbo mode, ultra, double movement speed on. Battle animations off. Let's go. Oh wow, yeah, that's very fast, very instantly.
Jesus,
All right.
How come I can't
Realm
find
9,
this shit?
caustic reactor. I am going to. Yeah, my animatus is just one-shotting things. Oh, I can't. He got silenced.
Digging.
Yeah, my animatus is just killing everything. Although every once in a while my my cold slime yeti dies. Just as your creatures deal the finishing blow to Lloyd. Oh no, yeah, he explodes in pustules. Knock it off. There. Blood Crusader, nice. Tervolps. I wonder, like again, I am curious to see what the hell is gonna happen with the knowledge. Like, I want it to be useful. My only macro is basically if silenced, attack. If not, cast the nuke. Yeah, that sounds like a very useful. That's the sort of macro where it's like, I actually will probably end up. I will probably end up programming very, very dynamic behavior into my end teams, so that I can like pilot them without having to manually play out combat turns. Bleeding on damage. Okay, so this is a trick slot bleeding on damage. That's cool. I think you need like 3 of those. See, there were no buffs in here. Oh, you can destroy chests after you open them? I did not know that.
Oh yeah, I love doing that.
Okay, so
Thanks for the loot, kick.
this guy wants to... I can't start Enchanter rank 2, right? Because I am still... Yeah, I still need 2 more copper ingots. Good God. So anyway, I can actually... Where is this? Decoration mode. Okay, and then if I go to decoration mode, I can add decoration. I think it's under utilities. Fusion lab. Cool, yes. I want to put the fusion lab like right here or something.
Congratulations on your fusion.
Thank you. So, okay, yeah, I gotta press B. How do I get out of close menu? No, exit decoration mode. There we go. So, yeah, I don't think there's really any. There are no guys really specifically here that. Do I have a Terror Hound on my team still? I really don't. Which is, oh no, I do. I have a Terror Hound still. I think the Terror Hound in combination with the Bard Ballad is really strong stuff. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and do that maybe. The Ent and the like, there are several really obvious ones in my opinion. It's like fuse, combine 2 of my creatures into 1. I don't know if I want to, like, I think honestly, like, I can take the hit if I fuse these with if I fuse these with new guys. Like, they'll go down to, like, level 5, basically, which is fine. So I'm going to need... But there are some that I need to combine right now. So I'm going to take the Ancient Spirit and the Ebony Ent. But what I want is to get... so what does the Ebony Ent have for spells? It's really the operative question here. Spell gems on the Ent. Shock, Poison Arrow, Antidote. Antidote's pretty important, but I don't have it macroed in yet, so it's really not as important. Shock. Shock is some damage. And then, so Chastise. Okay, yeah, so I can just see them here. Shock, Chastise, Cloud Beam. Chastise and Cloud Beam are pretty nice. So we get the class from the second parent. I think
you get the appearance of the primary parent.
Yeah, I think probably. Well, it's not just the appearance; it's also the family and whatnot, as far as I can tell. So
you get the average stats from both parents, both traits. Class of the second parent looks like the first parent.
Yeah, but that so it'll stay. For example, it will stay an ancient spirit. Like it will stay a it'll be like an ancient spirit with nature, I believe. So if I go like ancient spirit and I go Ebony Ent, these guys are just fantastic together, seemingly. I think I like this guy here. So I'm just gonna combine these two real quick. Let's go. There we go. Fusion was successful. Now we have a guy that's level, what's level 11 with some stats. Nothing impressive, like it's kind of more middling. But his traits, the traits are great. He should have 2 traits. Why doesn't he have 2 traits? Character, traits. Oh yeah, next trait. There you go. He's got, there we go. 1 of 2. There we go. So we got Essential Dignity. So he puts Mending. Everybody has Mending and takes 15% less damage. And also, whenever creatures are healed, they gain a random buff. So, like, everybody's healing all the time, and they're always gaining random buffs, which is just kind of nice. Useful functionality. I am thinking, like... I am wondering what to do for my second fusion here. I think that... gotta go have fun with the game. Alright, Jazzboz, see you later, and thanks for coming by. For real.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna drop off pretty soon here too.
Oh yeah, that's fine. Actually, yeah. Well, do you wanna do that? We can like make it like we can. You can say goodbye to everybody. I think I am actually gonna go ahead and play on stream for maybe another hour or 2. Probably just 1 hour.
That's fine. Yeah, go ahead and save and quit.
Yeah, this was good though. Yeah, you got to play pretty much the entire time that I was kind of talking. You were kind of out there doing stuff, so I'll probably basically just catch up.
I was mainly just like sitting around, just doing the lower realms, leveling back up my dude because of the huge stat disparity now.
Thank you, Jazzboz, for the follow. But yeah, for sure. Well, it sounds like you're willing to stick with this game until you see the like post-end game, at least.
Yeah, I'm good with it.
Okay, cool. Well, we'll keep doing this then, and yeah, we're gonna kind of do like a more independent time thing, right? Like we're just both gonna kind of go at our own pace and meet up on Fridays and talk about it. And I won't camp your streams anymore, just in case I don't want to. Well, I mean, maybe I'll drop by every once in a while. Who knows?
Go ahead and drop by if you want. Like, I'm not gonna stop you. You could check in on like what's ahead. Everybody,
go follow Adam immediately. That's an order. All 6 of you, go now. Yeah, we're both gonna be streaming, and we're just gonna have parallel experiences and talk about the game like once a week. And I think that's the thing. And honestly, I think I might invite my girlfriend. Adam and my girlfriend are brother and sister. So his sister, my girlfriend, she may weigh in on this. She was thinking about like, she's thinking about trying to get over her camera shyness by coming on to stream. I probably shouldn't say that. It's probably embarrassing. But She's actually further than I am in the game because she played it for like 2 minutes and is way better than me at everything. So maybe we all can jump on and just kibitz about the game every like once a week or something like that. I don't know if you would mind having another. Well, if
Yeah, I don't care.
if it's Elizabeth, you know, it's probably chill, huh? But yeah, then we can all like just banter back and forth. Hey, what did you do with the game? Well, you see, I got crushed repeatedly by challenges that were way beyond my skill level. All right, man. Are you gonna take off now?
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and fall off. But good luck with the game.
Yeah, thank you, and thanks for all the good conversation today.
No prob. Peace.
All right, dude. Peace out. Okay, so we've got that. Adam is taken off. I am going to continue to do this for a little while, probably basically to catch up with, the other guys who are playing and who are just way faster at the game than I am. Okay. So we are gonna blow past some content and do some stuff hopefully. You know, I'm definitely, my team is definitely has definitely outpaced the content for sure. So how many unspent perk points? 80. Thrive on death. Yeah, but guys aren't not dying generally. That is probably the one to do, and seeing as I'm only 20 points off and I just beat the realm boss, I'm guessing that that's going to be fine. This one's funny, sharing the damage it takes with the 6th creature, but I don't really have anything set up to catch that just yet. It's immune to debuffs in normal battles and resistant to debuffs in boss battles. That's interesting. After an enemy is killed... Corpse explosion, huh? Enemies take a small amount of damage for each dead creature. Interesting. Dark anima. So I saw all this stuff. This is actually probably a good one to have at the moment after the animated gem. Always has animated gem. Always has. So that's like a buff that's like manually cast a spell. This minion casts one of its master spell gems as well. Okay, so that's pretty cool. I think the Dancing Blade is actually the better one. If I were gonna spend one just real quick, I think it would be the Dancing Blade. So we'll go ahead and spend on Dancing Blade. So he should always have animated weapon. I want to fuse my Cold Slam Yeti with something. I think Blood Crusader and... Where is the monster that I'm thinking about? Do I not even have it? Is this like something I fever dreamed? Oh yeah, there we go. Kolos Brand and Blood Crusader are like pretty good looking together. So I'm going to go ahead and make a new monster. We're going to go Kolos Brand. We're going to go... where is the Blood Crusader? Right there. Because these guys, like, he should have a considerable, like, he shouldn't have any trouble staying topped off with these two, basically. So we're going to go... Wait, why can't I choose creatures that are in my... Oh, yes, I can. There we go. So what do I want out of this, basically? The guy I have is nature now, so I lost a life slot. I could do a life slot. Oh, the magic slot is actually really big. But that guy wants to attack rather than casting. So we're going to just make him into a light guy, I think. Which means we can use the Kolos Brand first and the Blood Crusader second, and he should get a life class. At least I believe that's what that is class. So we're gonna do this. Wow, this guy looks awesome. Yeah. I don't even know which one is cooler. I think we could go with this one, but both look pretty rad. Between these two bottom ones, basically. Yeah, that looks awesome. Yo. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go with this. Boom. Okay, so that's just a raw dog creature. I'm gonna need to put like a... I need to put an artifact on him and stuff. Where would he go? Forge. Do we have a helmet, I guess, is the question. This guy's got a helmet. So I think I need to make a new helmet, basically. Upgrade this helmet. Okay, we are going to socket this helmet with some stuff. Where is it? Unequipped helmet. These require 5, basically, if I sort by quantity. I know that I can do any that are down here, basically. I don't have plenty to allocate, so... Health, speed. Just health? I feel like just health is probably likely to get, like, result in more health. I'd love attack health. There it is. I do not have another attack health right now. So I guess the best next thing would be like health speed, so that I can actually like go fast. So that my guy can actually move first occasionally. So we're sorting by quantity, so stuff over here basically. Sorcery strength, deal more damage to and takes less damage from sorcery creatures. Spell potency, bomb on damage, visible on damage, silence on damage. That could actually be pretty funny. Damage reduction. I don't care about him taking less damage, to be perfectly honest. Silence on damage is pretty funny though. I think sleep on damage might also be really, really good. Screw it. We'll go silence on damage. Okay. So this guy's going to go ahead and get that artifact because he does damage based on the difference in his health. We are going to go ahead and fuse up another guy. Which one is it? Actually, I wanted to look at this perk. Where's the fusion perk? At the start of the battle, your enemy fuses with a copy of the second creature in your party. In addition, its race changes to that creature's race. A copy of the second creature. That's so strange. That seems awesome, though. Like, that seems potentially really, really awesome. I wonder if it can fuse with a creature that is already fused. Because this seems like special. It doesn't seem like the normal fusion. Because if you're doing it at the start of every battle, then, like, you know. Alright, what do I need? I have a full party. I want maybe potentially to fuse my Cold Slime Yeti with something. Blabarian seems like a no-brainer. Monstrous Gargantuan, also kinda sorta good. Granite Golem seeming kinda nice as well. Oh yeah, did I don't think I made a, I still have my Terror Hound, yeah, so I've got to make the Bard Balladeer and fuse my Terror Hound with this one right here. Fuse, Terror Hound, Bard Balladeer. So what do we want? We, like, I could keep the death guy, basically. There we go. Oh, that won't keep the death element, actually. Wait, it will. Okay, yes. So we go Bard Balladeer, Terror Hound. We will keep the Death element, but we will be a Bard Balladeer. Excellent. So, that's going to get easy to remember, I think, eventually. We're just going to do this one. This looks pretty dark and spooky. Cool. There we go. I guess it de-equips artifacts, so we should probably put the Wind Whacker back on that guy. This guy's also got a staff, that's nice. Oh yeah, I don't have any spell gems or anything either. Spell gems. We'll do Shock, Poison Arrow, Antidote. And for you, Desecrate, Nightmare, Chastise, Cloud Beam. I can actually do a few more of those to make my Vulps more effective in combat. I'm tempted to just put Granite Golem. Yeah, I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna go Granite Golem. And we're going to fuse my Cold Slam Yeti with my Granite Golem. They are both sorcery types, so it does not really matter all that much. I think I like how the Cold Slam Yeti looks more, though, so, like... What does this look like? Oh, that looks cool. What does this look like? This is a very good way to make decisions, is just look at how awesome the fusions are, and then decide based on that, I think. Yeah, we're gonna go ahead just like this. And we're gonna take this guy. We're gonna equip helmet. He needs spells. Perfect. Assign macro 1. That's what that guy does. But now he needs to be moved. Have you any interest in a snack? I might be persuadable. I think there's still one more cup of smoothie in there, and that might be what I want very badly at the moment. So I'm not sure. I'm not sure about the snack. I'm gonna reorder my golem. I'm gonna put my golem next to my animatus, and my animatus is going to go in slot 3 like he's supposed to. There we go. Cool. I'll check. I was looking at yogurt and nuts. Yeah, yogurt and nuts sounds delicious, but I just, like, I'm not sure. I'm really focused on what I'm doing right now, basically. We have a Vulps, but there's nothing really, like, super tempting to fuse it with at the moment. So I think that I'm done with these fusions, basically. Do all of my guys... Okay, here's a quick check. Everybody has an artifact. So I need 2 light spells, 2 dark spells... Sorry, 3 dark spells. 2 light spells, 3 light spells, 3 dark spells. They all should do damage. What's up? What's up? Oh. Thank you. She brought me the smoothie in question. I am very grateful. Alright, so I need some light spells. Let's see, sort by class. Target takes a small amount of damage and caster recovers a small amount of health. I don't really care too terribly much. I don't really care too terribly much what what exactly I put on these guys at the moment. Because I'm really just putting this stuff on for eh? Oh, you can only equip one of each copy? Oh, that's really bad. Okay then. That's what I get for not checking first. Time to speak to Everett. You reduce two creatures? Yep. Okay, I already know all this stuff. Blood for blood. Speak with Everett again. Honestly, what the heck? Titan's Wound is an interesting place. Nordic can help manage your menagerie groups. Menagerie groups allow you to easily save and load party configurations. So this is basically them introducing me to the concept that I should probably have a couple of parties arranged. So like if I want to play around with a second party, I just save this one, store it, and then basically go. So what about, oh, I see. What about 9 here? I can do random realms up to 9 now. That's what I thought. Honestly. So if we go here, we go realm Titan's Wound. Let's see. I'm hoping that I don't just get this guy may just one-shot. Yep. I thought he may just one-shot. I think probably... I think probably I win this just because my Animatus is one-shotting everything, but basically my guys have to level back up. Cool. There we go. Greetings, mortal. Cut blood. Welcome you to mine own realm. Just to thee summon me. He talks in ye old English. Indeed, passed through hither recently. Whither they wenteth, I doth not knoweth. Dear God, save me. Somebody get me out of here. I suggest thee travel deeper into the Titan's Wound and see if it be true that thee catches up with these... God, for fuck's sake. Okay, I don't care. Thanks for the emblem, bro. Okay, let's see if we... see if we lose outright. Also, I should probably, uh-oh. That guy's gonna one-shot someone now. There he goes. Animatus invincible. Yeah, let's just take those guys out so that they don't one-shot everybody. We'll slow down for a second on the Animatus turns and make sure that he clubs the Gargantuans to death. My party should be caught up pretty soon. Love how my Koloss Fire Round is basically doing no damage at all. Okay, what do these guys do? Real quick. When your creatures are resurrected, they are resurrected with 100% additional health. If this amount exceeds their maximum health increases by an amount equal to the difference. This seems like maybe potential synergy with the Unicorn Vivifier. I agree on the thing about games taking themselves seriously, by the way. This game isn't really about it, the story, though, so it's forgivable, IMO. You know, I want to say, like, I agree with the sentiment. And what I would say is that I would rather frame it that I'm willing to overlook it. There are still things to appreciate about this game. And lots of them, but it sounds like we're on exactly the same wavelength regarding that. There's really no reason for a game to do the sort of self-deprecating irony, but like as long as I'm not really here for the story, I can obviously like have an experience around it. It doesn't really make it any better or justifiable, but yes, I like forgivable. I'm willing to overlook it. That kind of phrasing, I suppose I can get behind that. It's just really unfortunate, right? Because a game like this could be so much more popular. The community could be so much broader, that sort of thing, if like the game just didn't take a gigantic shit on itself. I may turn the game sounds down. They're so loud, they're annoying me. Anyway. Is the cast option in the auto battle really so stupid that it doesn't actually go to your second cast if you are out of charges of your first cast? Is that... Did I understand that correctly, that behavior in the last fight? Like, my guys are out of their first cast, so they're just not going to the second cast despite the, like, basic macro for cast being enabled. I really dislike that the puddles of blood are so incredibly indistinguishable from the rest of the realm. It's like everything is a puddle of blood here, right? Like, I don't know what these guys do. After an enemy dodges an attack from one of your other creatures, this creature attacks the enemy 2 times. I bet you can do like runaway feedback loops with that. You're like, you just, I wonder if you can set up like one necrotic clutcher with basically negative speed. That literally like force procs dodges. And set them up to like make sure that they always proc a dodge by swinging with like negative speed, and then set another one up with tremendous speed that never misses, and just have the missing one go in, have the low accuracy one go in and start proccing, and then like it triggers the one that attacks, and then the one that whoops, I wanted to read that. And then the one that attacks triggers the one that, like the one that with high accuracy triggers the one with low accuracy, and they just go back and forth. I'd actually loved it if Mortem were a properly serious character. I'm an edgelord, so I'm all about theme. Yeah, I mean, for real. I tend toward edgelord myself, somewhere between like edgelord and meme lord. I definitely tend to play memeier builds. Mechanically speaking. But I do like a good holistic aesthetic. I don't like nonsense disjointed looking aesthetics. Blacksmith rank 2. Oh yeah, I finished my project. Does that mean I don't think I can't do shit about I can't do shit about it right now. Slate of taunting. Taunting for the trick slot. Not bad. It is actually pretty hard to control this thing on 2x. Okay. So this is pretty much the realm, right? I'm guessing. Aha! Found one. Yeah, that looks to be the realm. Teleport back to Siralim because I have a project to turn in. Talk to Everett, my blacksmith. I can now upgrade your artifacts. Okay. To an even higher tier than before. Excellent. Is that it? Is it really just like this? Nothing. So I have one project slot still, right? Just checking. Yeah, one project slot. This is my int. This is my int staff. Haha. What now? I gotta see. I gotta make sure that. Now I bet I can't upgrade it. Yep. So. I gotta see if that cast macro bullshit is actually happening where I'm getting stuffed on charges. Like my cast just isn't coming down to the second cast. Even though I've set it to cast. I bet it's just stupid, and I'm gonna have to program some like I'm gonna have to use a macro to dictate some kind of sanity check. Like, if I have 0 charges, please cast this. If I don't have 0 charges, please cast this. Like, sanity check. If not silenced, then cast this. You know. If not silenced, check next line. If this creature is not silenced, check next line. Next line is like, if this creature has, charges in their first slot, cast first, and then go on and go on. When it deals damage, then with attacks or spells. I don't know if this creature is technically dealing damage. This is a trait slot, and I just do not have any traits yet. Okay, yeah, that works. I can go ahead and upgrade probably one other one, right? Like, we can do this. Yeah. Now the wooden sword does not look wooden, and it is kind of silly that it's named wooden sword. So, I don't have the trait slots the same thing for every. Yeah, so I just don't have. Wait. I can sock it for just one? For just one? Really? It doesn't say that I need multiples of this to sock it. That's great. That's fantastic. Hold on. Hold the phone. This is awesome. At the start of this creature's turn, it reduces the enemy's attack by 15% of this creature's attack. Wow! We're just going to do that right away, because right now my Animatus has so much more attack than anything else. that we are fighting, that's just going to trivialize a lot of incoming damage, basically. Cast the same spell on your creatures as well. Spell Stealer. That's really interesting. This is also a really good one. After this creature is attacked, it afflicts the enemies with blind. If enemies already have this debuff, it decreases their speed by 20% instead. This creature attacks as a 50% chance to deal no damage and heal all your creatures for the amount of damage it would have dealt. Otherwise, it deals 50% more damage. What? That's awesome. That is actually just fucking crazy. Crystal Shield. Wish I knew what Crystal Shield did. Oh, it's a gem. Guards. Yeah, I mean, roulette is very, very tempting right now, but I think that motivation at the start of this creature's turn, it reduces the enemy's attack by 15% of this creature's attack. Like, that's just it. At the start of this creature's turn. That's crazy. There's no way I can not do that. This creature's attacks and cast spells 3 additional times. Yeah, but that's a really harsh drawback, unfortunately. Like, unless you want to basically end the combat right away by putting that on, like, an AoE caster that always goes first or something. Oh, actually, you can just combine it with invisibility, can't you? Yeah, so you basically combine that with, like, an invisibility on damage proc. And that works pretty good. We're going to go ahead and just put motivation on this, because that's fucking crazy. Perfect Artisan. Okay, well, let's see. Let's go. We got, we're gonna go to Realm 11, I think, now. How much do I have? 3,000? Yeah, see, I'm like blowing up the, I'm definitely blowing up the, my resources. Yeah, I don't really have any dark gems that... I don't really have any dark gems that I can't... that deal damage that I don't already have equipped. Cousin's Art Hither. Oh god, just shut up. Okay, I actually don't think that I've seen what this big dumb tree guy does. Like, I don't know what you do. Rapid regeneration. At the start of each creature's turn, this creature recovers 10% of its missing health. Oh! Of its missing health. That's interesting. It's not as good as I would like, perhaps. Kind of underwhelming. Yeah. So this creature, like, my Animatus is going first because it's just got more stats than anything ever. And so now everything's stats are just... So if I inspect my Animatus, it's got 202 attack. So, like, I reduced the attack of everything by, what, 15% of that? Like 30? That's crazy. I can't remember what this guy does either. After this creature is attacked, enemies are afflicted with vulnerable. Is that all enemies if I hit you? I think it has to survive to apply its damage buff. So, yes, that's all creatures applied. All of my creatures get vulnerable after I hit that once, but only if it survives. Interestingly enough, that's a very kind of a very important point. So every turn that my Animatus goes, right? Every turn. Yeah, these things eventually just have no attack because of the trait on my sword now. That's crazy. I mean, it's not that crazy. I'm sure there's gonna be some crazier shit going on. Like, oh, I actually got my Colossus Fire Run got wrecked there somehow. Probably some kind of spell gem. The fact that it's missing HP can sometimes help, though. Oh, So there's probably going to be some kind of, like, missing HP. I mean, it's the same way with the Colossus Firebrand, right? Like, the Colossus Firebrand does damage based on the difference in health, so that there would be, out of a 1200 monster pool, that there would be some monsters that that have mechanics that reference missing health is really no surprise, and it's not like it's a very innovative or novel mechanic, so can't say that I am like that just makes a lot of sense. Your creatures always have leeching and receive 30% more healing. You know what's awesome about that? It probably stacks with that probably stacks with the I'm sure it stacks with the paladin, the crusader, the blood crusader buff, so but I think the Blood Crusader gives him self-leeching, so you don't really care about that. You want, like, one that increases healing received, but it probably stacks pretty well with the Ent. I have 3 emblems. I want a Hemomancer Lord, man. Come on. I want all these emblems. Yeah, my Animatus is now just, like, broken on another level for this content. Like, the Animatus does not give a fuck anymore. I don't want to explain for fear of spoiling. That's exactly correct. Thank you for not doing that. I'm just absolutely sure. I'm absolutely sure. I can imagine probably a dozen ways off the top of my head that missing HP mechanics could be worked into this game. I'm sure that they're going to show up because, like I said, the game keeps living up to my expectations in terms of, like, okay, I think this would be a cool mechanic to show up, and it does show up. So trust me when I say I've played enough of this sort of game that I know what to expect. Not gameplay related, but just in case you get more Siralim vets that show up to your stream, you may want to add the no backseating and or no spoiler tags to future streams. Yeah, you know, I probably should do that. I will consider doing that for, like, I think I can just update. Can't I just update? Isn't this like a Streamlabs OBS thing now? Is it possible? Not refresh chat. Edit your stream title and description. We're going to go Siralim Ultimate. I mean, I am saying blind playthrough. Where's the tags? No spoilers? No spoilers. I don't mind backseating. I don't mind backseating as long as it's kind of narrow. Like, if you point things out that I'm not, like, looking at, that's not fucking revealing stuff to me that the game hasn't showed me, for example, you know? Siralim Ultimate blind playthrough. Part 4 grind. What is this? Part 4, let's go. Yeah, I added the no spoiler tag. So hopefully that helps some people to be, that helps to give people a heads up so they don't walk into that one. Like I said, I really hope I'm not responding to that badly. I'm very unused to policing spoilers because as a general rule, I am, like, the least affected by spoilers of any human being I've ever met. Damn. That guy was a tanky Colossus. That's all I'm gonna say. But, yeah, I hope I'm not coming across as, like, some kind of weird, like, fun cop. I often find, like, the allergic reaction to spoilers to be, like, just a weird thing that I have a hard time relating to. But that is not me. I'm not trying to judge. you know, other people's experiences with this stuff, I realize that people are affected by it. And I realize that that's a real thing that they really experience and go through. I'm not trying to make fun or anything like that. But it's an alien experience to me, brother. When I play games purely by myself, I don't care. I don't care if people is it too soon to do the Harry Potter spoiler? Like, I don't care if people tell me that Dumbledore dies. Yeah, novel wise. I don't care. Like, I don't care. I've never cared in my entire life. But I want to do this thing without him. And I think it's very fair to have both of us, like, for the whole point of it, the whole point of doing the parallel run is absolutely to, like, get the experience that both of us are having with the game. Unadulterated is a good word for this instance. I don't want to mix it with, you know, a bunch of information that we're getting external to the game. So if you hadn't noticed, Ancient Spirit plus Ent Mending combos, then saying, hey, try this combo, would have been fine. Yeah, I think so. I think so. I think, hey, check out, yeah, like the suggestion that, yeah, I think that that's backseating, right? And I think that I'm completely fine with that because, trust me, brother, if somebody suggests something that I just don't feel like doing, I'm very good at just being like, yeah, thanks, but no thanks. And also, like, I'm already very likely to pick up on synergies. So if you catch something that I missed, it's probably because I, like, failed to read at some point, which would just bum me out. So, like, if you just point me to it, you probably don't even need to say as much as, like, you probably don't even need to be as explicit as, like, this is a great combo. You could probably just be like, hey, yo, look at Ent, look at Ent and look at Ancient Spirit. And if you do it in the same sentence, I'm probably just going to go look at them and go, oh yeah, I know what you want me to do. I know what's going on with that one. Oh wow. Some of these combats are looking a little bit frisky, surprisingly. So I am absolutely sure. Like, yeah, feel free to draw my attention to stuff that you think that I may have overlooked in any way, shape, or form. If it's in the game, yeah. I don't want to overlook stuff. I think Adam's version of this is, like, he basically says, like, don't, like, if you tell me to do something and I, like, it's not something I would naturally do, I just won't do it or whatever. Generosity. Yeah, that's pretty good. Rebirth when it deals damage with it. Gain rebirth. That sounds really good. That sounds like a free life. That's what that sounds like. I do not know, Emery. This realm is rife with valuable treasure. By the time I return to my kingdom, I'll be rich here. I'd like to share in I'd like you to share in my wealth. Enjoy. What? All right, thank you. I guess. What are you? You seem like something. Okay, so I'm actually definitely. You don't like to be cornered. I see. Oh, I can use my minions to rope you in. Got it. It took me a second. Hostile dumpling. Uh-oh. Wait, I should have inspected you. Your dumplings gain current and maximum health equal to 15% of all your dumplings. Maximum health. This trait does not stack. This thing has 1900 health. Oh god. Am I gonna be okay? This seems... Yeah, this seems crazy. Wow, what? They killed it. Based on what I calculated, that's 4 swings from animators. There's apparently 1 swing. Swing bada bada. Or, like, I guess, because the dire wolves, he's actually doing a crap ton. Oh no, he's also got the animated, weapon buff now. So, yeah, he's actually doing a good number of hits there. Big boy. I'm not doing a whole lot of number crunching right now because it feels like a little early to be doing stuff like that, honestly. Like, I feel like basically if I haven't increased the difficulty, so if I bank on synergy, like I bank on solid, like, reasonably intuitive synergy, and then I just kind of go. I highly doubt that the game is going to push back anytime soon. Probably be at least a few realms. Yeah, so basically, like, cast is just doing this, right? This guy's got cast as his thing, so I'm going to go ahead and macro... I'm going to go ahead and set up a generic, like, caster macro that's like, first of all, if silenced, you know, if silenced, and then else if, and go from there. Just to do, like, a sanity check so that it tries to cast all its spells, number 1. And that way I can just, didn't read, the text about running? Really? You can run? Can I hold down a button? Oh, that would be fantastic. I didn't? Where was it? Was it like the slime? Did I miss something with the slime? Sorry, I am actually playing a little faster than I usually do. So I am inclined to miss some things. But feel free to, what did I miss? I don't want to miss things. Socket and artifact tree slot. No, I mean the fight. It played a little sound like running instead it ran. Oh. Oh, no, I did not read that text. It must have gone by real fast. Shit. So I didn't actually beat the thing. That sucks. So I bet that's one of those, like, random encounters where somewhat rare. Would I have gotten that creature as a knowledge that I could summon? That must be true. Yes, it must be. I probably shouldn't be asking questions I don't want the answers to. I'm sorry, I'm dumb, I'm not used to this. Splash. Increases a chance to splash when it deals damage with attacks or spells. That's great. It's great to have 2 of those, actually. Because I almost answered that. I know, I'm sorry. I'm such bait. I'm so bad at this. I'm sorry, Adam. I'm not very good at this sort of thing. Have not got much experience watching out for that sort of thing. Okay, cool. There's one more little unexplored square. Oh, okay, nothing down there. All right, let's go. Teleport back to Siralim. How am I doing on my quest? I have to check like this. Really? Okay. An exquisite crystal ball. Favor Mortem. We're working on it. Do not have an active bounty. Bounty. Guild reputation. Interesting. Okay. What do I want to do while I'm here? Oh, yeah. I guess, yes. So, number 1, macros. Let's do it. Macro 2. Add a line. If this creature is... No, not class. Has... Oh, my back. My back is starting to hurt. I'm probably gonna have to call it a night at some point soon. Not just yet, though. Not yet. I promise, not yet. Can defend, can provoke, is provoking. Where's can cast? I wanted to check for, like, a specific. doesn't have buff. There it is. Doesn't have debuff. Does not have silenced. Test next line. Add line. If this creature oh no. It's not gonna let me do this. Okay, so that one's not quite gonna work. Remove that line. Add a line if this creature has does not have debuff. Where is it? Doesn't have debuff, silence. Oh goodness. Scanning many debuffs. Not my favorite thing. Cast. Oh no. Oh, why am I sleeping? There we go, silenced. So I guess we have to do it in reverse. Let's just do it in reverse. If this creature has debuff, if this creature has silenced, attack. Well, no, we can use, yeah, attack. Attack a random enemy. I could use, like, I guess I could use a line. I could use a line that goes like attack the lowest HP enemy, but and then we have to go if this creature does have silence. Read next line. Read next line though should be like doesn't have X. This is traits. Is there no way to check for charges? I'm immediately running into the limitations of the systems. I want to say you missed blood pools from favor, but then you said you weren't concerned about that. No, actually, I totally whoops, I totally didn't mean to miss those. I would have probably doubled back. Oh god. So you actually have to program this, like, you can't just say, like, cast... you can't just say, like, cast, first spell. Be like, cast Chastise on a random enemy. So you really have to go, like, if this creature does not have... doesn't have debuff. Silenced. Then we do, like, cast... skip turn. Damn, that's actually really super limiting. Like, you can definitely set up conditionals for certain kinds of spells, but I'm not really quite interested in going that in depth yet. Okay, yeah. I mean, I'll just set up like creature isn't silenced. And cast chastise, right? Random enemy. And then I could add conditionals like if this creature doesn't have silenced, and check next line, and then the next line is be like if a creature is below a certain amount of health, use like a particular nuke or something like that. But that's gonna be like basically closer. That will at least prevent like the situations where silence comes into play. Let's see. Shock. Okay, so shock is actually what we wanted. So we want one for shock and one for like desecrate, I guess. Desecrate and nightmare. This creature keeps running out of shock, basically. Okay. Yeah, I'm just gonna set this up real quick. Doesn't have debuff. Silenced. Cast. Shock. Cast shock. That's it? Shock just... Does it hit everybody? Okay, anyway. Boom. We'll just do that real quick. And we will... do... creatures. Assign macro. Macro 2. Strategy. Macro. Okay, yeah. For now we'll do that and we'll keep pushing. We'll keep pushing. The higher your realm depth, the better your rewards. Thanks. Oh, it's the story boss. Let's see if our team can handle this. Got rebirth. That's nice. If this creature has silenced, cast shock. Wait, does that say if this creature has silenced? I thought it was if it doesn't, but... I bet I can kill Urine instantly. Creature has additional stats equal to 25% of all of your other creature stats. So like it's got 212 defense. That's actually quite a problem. That's a defense problem. I think we obviously try to kill other things first in that case. Yep, no, I think you're right. I think I botched it. Unfortunate. I also think that my new golem actually hasn't been doing the thing that it should do, because I don't think it has the macro. I actually forgot to apply the macro. Whoopsie. So we beat the boss. At least there's that. We've learned massive disappointment in ourselves, but we did beat the boss. I'm relieved. Yeah. Perk points again. Cool. Afflict enemies with stone. Couples really well with that one that like causes people to potentially die on like a 30% chance when attacking them if they're stoned. Immune on damage. Gain immune when it deals damage with attacks or spells. Immune sounds good. Like, when it's on me. What is immune, though? Is it just what it sounds like? Can't be afflicted with debuffs. Okay. That's way less, crazy. Alright. Yeah, I can actually fuck with this right here, can't I? I guess this actually also kind of avoids the has silenced. Okay. Yep. Creature does not have silence. Let's please. Does not have debuff. Silenced. Where? There we go. Cast. Shock. Shock? I think this I think that list is upgraded is updated programmatically, so like I don't think it lists all the spells in the game. I think it just lists all the ones you have. Otherwise, I'm kind of disappointed in the number of spells in the game. I really think there's probably more spells than that though. And then if we go macros, no, we don't go macros. We take it here and we go strategy, macro, and we assign macro number 1. There we go. That's better. Okay. Next, good fortune. As for me, mine. Oh, less Trinity's End. Much unlike other realms, it does not exist in reality as we know it. It's merely a snapshot over time. Should I even respond to that spell number comment? I could check that with like a little bit of logic. Geez, I don't know. It's hard. It's hard. You seem like a knowledge junkie. You're kind of like me, so you're just like super inclined to respond to all of my curious ramblings. Like, fuck, man, I'm such bait for you. It's merely a snapshot of time. If we were to configure, are there lots and lots of spells in the game, Chasm? You're allowed to say there are lots and lots of spells in the game. I don't think that's a. He's just give me a sad face. There are not lots and lots of spells. Womp womp. Teleportation shrine. To travel there, it would be a long gone before it even arrived. There are indeed lots, and they are wonderful. I appreciate that. I believe you've earned yourself some rest. You look like you haven't slept in days. Yeah, I was really suspicious when I saw that spell list. And I was like, how am I able to scroll down this entire thing? Actually, that makes, like, the macro system is... I love it. I love the intention of it. I think the implementation is maybe leaves a little bit to be desired. We'll see. Head off for the night? Really? I get, like, a little sleepy by cutscene. The moment your head touches the pillow, you fall asleep. All the fates for your friends. Yep. Suddenly, a familiar voice begins to whisper in your mind. Oh, no! Unable to travel this realm via conventional means, but that does not mean it's impossible to get there. It will take a bit more effort on your part. Your teleportation shrine can be upgraded, just like everything else in my life, enabling it to freeze the essence of time itself. This will allow you to travel even to the ever-fleeting Eternity's End. It's like a Pirates of the Caribbean movie. But initiating such an upgrade is not as simple as collecting materials for Everett. 5 lesser and other orbs. Chaos, death, life, nature, sorcery. These relics will be able to empower your teleportation trying to travel to Eternity's End. Okay, so there's definitely going to be some, like, rare matte realms. Like, some materials combine. Some like, rarer materials involved in, like, getting to certain places, probably. I hope. You'll find the Death Orb in the Path of the Damned. You'll find the Nature Orb in the Swamplands. Sorcerer of the Refuge of Magi. Pandemonium is home to the Chaos Orb. Life Orb is located in the Azure Dream. Seek these out, which I will aid you in channeling their power into your teleportation. Certainly a lot of information to remember. Now awaken, Wes. Wow, this is just... Oh, it's so contrived. I'm glad you managed to enjoy some well-deserved rest, Wes. God, I wish in real life, I wish I could have some well-deserved rest. I have to start thinking about that in the next like 20, 30 minutes. Fortunately, I've not figured out a way to reach Eternity's End. I could play a lot tomorrow, actually. I might even be able to play like during the day. I don't know. I'll figure it out. Adam's let me off the leash. I'm allowed to play whenever I want, so. You explained to Everett that Caliban came with you and dreams told you how to upgrade your teleportation shrine. Caliban's strategy is sound. He's concerned about the danger you must endure. Oh, come on. So you got the Death Orb. New project for you. Oh no. But I already started my next project. And I'm not even close. Oh, I hate you. Oh, you suck. You suck, Everett. Why are you like this? Stop being like this and be a different way immediately. I really don't have any, like... Okay, yeah, so these are all the new guys. Coloss Firebrand. He's new because I used one and then I got a new one. I see. You have to, like, go kill one after you spend your knowledge of them, I guess. You don't spend the knowledge. Yeah, I get it. Okay. Dark Ossian. Yeah, okay. Seen all these guys. I looked at them all. I believe I know what they all do. More or less. Creatures always have leeching and receive 30% more healing. It's just so friggin' good with end mending. I'm like super tempted to... You know what? Screw it. I think we're just gonna go like this, and I think we're just gonna put this together with my Vulps. Just because I can. Death, life. Yeah, we're gonna keep the life, right? I'm sure I'm screwing myself on the families. Like, I absolutely know that I'm screwing myself on the families by, like, not paying attention to them right now, because I'm sure there's gonna be a whole bunch of shit relative to, like, families lining up to be important, like, I guess, like, what's that, races? But I'm gonna fucking go for it anyway. This looks so goddamn cool. This one right here. I am super jazzed. So we will keep the life. Be like a leech, a life leech. Right? Oh yeah, you're there. So let's go reorder stuff real quick. Just do we need? Yes, we need to. You here, you here. Otherwise, honestly, doesn't matter. I'm kind of used to looking at it like this, though. So we'll just do that for the moment. For the moment. And that guy needs. Do you get? Yeah, you need your artifact back, right? Yeah, you need a staff, for sure. Maybe I even go and get like an upgrade and. Have to do. Currently struggling with whether or not to say something, but even explaining what it's related to might spoil a feature. Assume it's kind of. You can always get more creatures for fusing. By the time it matters, you should be able to summon, fuse, replace a bit more freely. Yeah, no, I mean that's. I'm pretty much like I understand. I'm with you on that one. I mean you can try to phrase it in a roundabout way or do whatever you want. Like, use your best judgment. Like I said, I'm not gonna throw a shit fit. I just want to avoid stuff that's like, I don't know, obviously over the line. I don't care though. That is what it is. Adam said he doesn't care as much as, you know, anymore. So we're gonna do like, okay, this is on my leech. We're gonna upgrade you. We're gonna socket you with some stuff. Oh wait, what? You got extra int? Straight up? Maybe do more int. Invisible and damage seems good. Spell potency. Creature spells are more potent. That also seems good. Screw it. Slop. After this creature is attacked. 5% more intelligence for each spell that has been cast by all creatures in the current battle. That seems awesome for this guy. No! 5,000 brimstone. See, Adam's like, there's way too many resources. I'm like, I don't know, man. It depends on like what you're spending your time doing. Like if you're spending all your time grinding, like, you know, 100%, you're gonna be like swamped with resources. But I'm basically like just shooting forward as much as I can. I'd really like to I'd really like to get this one right here. Where is it? This one right here. No, where is it? What the heck? There it is. Masterpiece. I'm gonna have to start remembering these perks like by name because I'm just confused when I'm looking at them. I like this one, this one, this one, this one. No, masterpiece. So I need like 30 more perk points. I don't know if it's really worth it to spend in the interim here because Anguish through Awareness. We have one of these. Starts the battle with 1+1 rank per perk point. I'd actually just de-spend that. Right? Oh no. Okay, so Molecular Betrayal is like, you need all of it. I was really enjoying Dancing Blade. I kind of want Masterpiece now. There we go. Good. Okay. Now we're just gonna do the next realm. Question mark? Let's go. Well, in this case, as a tip, this is fine. You can cancel your project's no refund. Yeah, that's what I mean, though. Like, the no refund. I expected that. That doesn't change my default assumption about the way the system's working. For sure, I thought that is how that would work. So this guy should be getting a shit ton of... oh, no, it's because I didn't have the brimstone. I want this character to be getting so much int for that like initial slam of spells out there from the Vulp's innate trait. I wanted to inspect these guys, but I killed some of them, I think. Shrewd Deathlich. At the start of your battle, your creatures gain Murder of Crows, which is a way to refer to a number of birds. This spell deals 2 damage 2 additional times. So Murder of Crows is a spell gem that they gain, which actually might work pretty well for me. It's Unholy Prayers, that trait. Because I wonder if this goes off before. I want to know how to arrange the order of start of combat innate traits. At the current moment, I would have to test it basically by like putting one in front of the other and then seeing if it goes, and then putting the other in front of the other and seeing if it goes. I do at some point want to test that. Dark Embrace. After your creatures die, this creature gains 25% of their attack, int, defense, and speed. I can't fuse my Animatus, right? Like, the Animatus itself is just what it is. I don't think I've seen it on the list for fusion, but boy, would I like to have that as a potential fusion target. I mean, I can fuse him by like putting it in with my creature there, but I wonder if I can get my Animatus a bunch more traits. Like, I wonder if the Animatus can just fuse with a creature that is fused. That would be awesome. I don't remember if the game even explains it to you or not. You can't fuse it outside of that one perk. Ah, fuck. Foot Eater. After this creature attacks, it steals 50% of the target's speed. I wonder if it has to hit. I wonder if you dodge a creature's attack. Like, if you dodge that creature's attack, if its innate trait still goes off. There we go. Oh, there we go. That's so much better. It's frozen. Everything's frozen. Oh, yeah. Game's feeling, you know, stronger again. Amazing how that works when you, like, pay attention to what your macros are doing. Only the words of the prayer ended up rhyming. Life is full of surprises. Well met West. Oh, it's a sexy goth succubus angel Erebus, and I am the goddess of darkness. You are welcome at my place anytime. I am surprised to see your kind here. The path of the damned is a dangerous place for a human after all. I can only assume that you've come here with an urgent purpose. Perhaps you seek the death orb. I do not fault you for desiring such a powerful relic. Look in the deeper part of this realm, guarded by a powerful banshee named Valora. Valora! Like, not Valora, but Valora. Seek her out and destroy her in order to claim the death orb. I'll watch over you from afar. I hope you're making googly eyes at me. I see your favorite god turned out the same as mine. Ha! I feel like we're gonna have a great time. We're gonna have a lot in common. Emblem of Erebus, okay. So what kind of crazy awesome shit do you give me? I want all of the Erebus emblems. I'm guessing that you have to fight the gods eventually. You don't have to answer that. I'm going to flat out assume it with like 100% confidence. You fight the gods eventually, and they are like some kind of crazy boss battle. And I am going to say that I am so fucking right. If I'm wrong, I'll eat my shirt. So silence on that part. I wasn't even paying enough attention to you. I said I assume you're gonna have to fight the gods eventually. Probably get them on your team and shit, but they're probably some kind of crazy boss fight. And I'm like, I just assume that I'm right about that with like 100% confidence. Because there's no fucking way that I'm not. So there's really no need to confirm that. I fucking know. If this game doesn't do that, it's like, it's just, this game was born to do that. Killed those, the auto battle killed those in exactly the wrong order. But it worked out anyway. Oh, the purple rose, the purple roses for the Erebus, Erebus favor makes me happy. Just gonna spend all the time in this realm. Arcane deals damage with attacks or spells. 3 of these materials to use them for socketing. Yep. Cure of blindness. Got it. Cure is the trait slot 1. Not the trait slot, the trick slot 1. Artifacts, trait slot with this. Tribe mentality. At the start of battle, creatures adjacent to this creature change their class to match this creature's class. That's awesome! Seems like there are a lot of clever ways to do interesting things. I'm paying close attention to like how the stats of my creatures deviates over time. Because, you know, as numbers get bigger, deviations are going to matter more. So like something with, you know, 10% of the health of another unit is pretty important. That's like a pretty important difference. I'm like, okay, so how much health do I have to pack onto these guys to make them like viable? Oh, it's another Spectre. After this creature attacks, it decreases the target's highest stat by 20%. Good luck with that. Well, you see, no comment. Perfect response. I see you're playing along. Welcome to the game. I just lost the game. Thank you, Daryl. Daryl's one of my roommates that is into the game and plays it all the time. But wouldn't it be funny if your name was also Daryl and I just like blew your mind? Intelligence speed. Cool. Okay, excellent. Okay, I've seen all of these, right? Can't remember what this does. Yeah, speed steal. Got it, got it, got it. Crazy. Whoops, I definitely didn't read whatever just popped up there. Kind of actually losing a little bit of steam here, losing a little bit of focus. My animatus starts with every buff that everybody else acquires, right? So, okay, so, oh, you know what I just realized is that, what I just realized is that mending does not happen if, and therefore the buff acquisition does not happen if your creatures have full health. I still lurk. Hey Daryl, how's it going, man? Did you hear me? Did you hear me? I said your name. I was like, Daryl, I was explaining because I lost the game on stream just a moment ago, so. Hostile Mimic. How bad? This creature always starts battle at the top of the timeline. 2070 health. Are you gonna run? Is that, do you do a thing where you run? Panic attack, rolling meteor. Savage splashing, repelling, mending. Wow. Okay. I thought my macro here was good for... Oh, it's not that he's silenced, it's that he's out of charges. I hate that. Man, I really don't know how to deal with that. Like, honestly, if I load him up with, I mean, I suppose I should probably at some point focus on, like, acquiring these guys enough charges that they can complete a full realm without losing all their charges. Okay. How we doing? There we go. Like a racetrack driver here. I am now moving fast, boys. AJ says he is going to play some Monster Sanctuary tomorrow and stream it, and I am like hyped for that. I'm pretty ready to check that out. Daryl, if you happen to have the volume on here, are you planning on doing Monster Sanctuary anytime soon? I mean, if AJ's gonna get into it, it'd be cool if you guys were doing it together, I guess. Oh yeah, I can get all these bones up. I guess not. Oh wait. No? Ah, yeah. These kind of look like the wall tiles. I feel like I'm gonna miss these. Occasionally. They seem to be working pretty good. Blessing unlocked mushrooms, decrease enemy speed. Spell strike. Target has to take some moderate amount of damage, 50% of damage based on the caster's attack instead of intelligence. Huh. Battle mages. Noxious smog and lich priest. Fascinating. So yeah, let me double check, make sure that I'm not missing stuff on the map. It should be marked here, right? Like, I feel like that one wasn't marked though, honestly. I think they're marked though. I have previously noted that they were marked, so how are we doing on the project? It's crap. Everything's crap. Okay. As in, I am just not. I just kind of want it to progress more. Oh, look. I actually don't have enough. Do I have enough? I can summon a mimic. It's just like 5% knowledge or something. What is that? Like it says 5% rather than ready. Can I summon you? What would happen if I tried? Would it tell me no, not enough knowledge? Yeah, there you do not have enough mana for this creature to summon it. Got it. Interesting. Yeah, so we have encountered our first instance of creature that you do not immediately acquire automatic knowledge of. And I wonder if that's like kind of tethered to the rarity of the creature. Like by killing it once, you do not have knowledge of it. Or maybe it ran away again. I didn't notice. Auto battle kind of has a tendency to do that to me. Hero princess. Wacky. I like my little lizard guy. I think I'm okay with that for the time being. Oh, I did not check the new ones here. Yeah. Why doesn't it just say their stats? Like, why does it say... Oh, because it doesn't include health. Okay. Understood. Characters, perks. We have 10 points. I think probably anguish through awareness is the next thing. Masterpiece is interesting. I wish I had a way to start all of my creatures at slightly lower HP. There's got to be a way to like damage everybody at the start of the combat. Let's see. How much do I have here? 4,900. I still don't have enough to put that excellent trick slot or trait slot onto my Whoops artifact. Sorry, trying to think and speak at the same time. Very hard. Spell strike. Let's see. Oh, this is awesome. I forgot to put spell gems on my character there. That guy just wasn't doing anything for the longest time. Perfect sense. This creature also probably needs strategy cast for the time being. Spell gems, chastise right at the top. That's fine. Okay, whoopsie. Yeah, maximum number of properties. So that's the thing, right? Is like I actually have to upgrade. A slot entirely. Like, wait a second. If we upgrade Cloud Beam and we take creatures, go manage spell gems. Oh, this is Cloud Beam. I thought Cloud Beam was. I thought Cloud Beam was a light attack. Yeah, there it is. we're gonna Cloud Beam here. Chastise actually has so many charges. But I think Cloud Beam is probably better. Depending. We'll see. And if I take and upgrade, not upgrade, but enchant. Let's do X more charges. Cascading. I don't know what cascading does. There must be a location for this. Okay. Spell gems. Okay, so the grayed out enchants are probably incompatible enchants. Got it. Spell potency. Yeah, there we go. There we go. This is what Adam was referring to. He was like, massive healing? What the crap is that? I'm like, it's definitely got to be in here somewhere. Yeah, so the reason that Adam used a spell that was massive healing and it healed basically nothing was probably because the guy that he had it casting it had next to no intelligence. So I really want to know what different kinds of enchants do. Reference list, spell gem properties. There we go. Skating. 3% for each charge of the spell gem missing. Interesting. Cast on extra target. Magnetic singular. Potency by 30% for each empty spell gem slot the creature has. Huh. Do I have that? I think I have that. Don't I have that? Singular. Yes, I do. That has counter synergy with the Vulps. The Vulps cast, sorry, the Vulps innate trait that casts a bunch of stuff, though. Unfortunately. And cascading works pretty well. So let's just put cascading on there to have something. It'll do more work at the end of a realm. Oh, I think I probably should have. I don't know if I checked. Skeleton Sniper. Has the following turn. This creature attacks, it has a 50% chance to deal 200% more damage. I wonder if that stacks with crits. I bet it does. Almost all games do it that way. It's not like a crit, it's just a multiplier that you can then stack crits on top of, which sounds really funny. Okay, yeah, my team is outpacing the game again, which is nice. For a second there, you know, I did a bunch of, like, fusing and whatnot. And my team was, like, every once in a while some stuff was dying. Craft Gems of the Wild Growth. Gems of Wild Growth. Target gains mending and a large amount of maximum health. A large amount. So that must actually be potency. So if it says large amount, that's going to be, like, int. It's actually crazy. It's actually freaking nuts. I wonder, yeah, you can get, like, extra targets on that, too. I wonder if you can get, like, 5 extra targets. You just put mending and increase the HP of your entire party. That would be great. Hey, guys. We are gonna just go ahead and hold the turbo button down. Actually, creatures. something I've been wanting to do for a while is check this this out right here. So 29, 29, 18% attack. Let me calculate this real quick. 29 plus 29 plus 18, 76%, and you have how much stat do you have? You have 138 stats, so 138 times 1.76 gives us 242 attack. 242 attack. Okay. So we should check his attack and see if it's 242. I may have been playing this terribly, terribly wrong this entire time. And that will actually be really funny because I thought I was being clever. But, you know, sometimes games don't let you be clever. So, change your potency based on defense. Nice. Nice. But we're going to check. 242 is the number we are looking for on our animator's attack. And actually, I have to check something else real quick to make sure that's correct. Third creature stats. Uh-oh. Oh yeah, that's it. That's fine. Artifact trait slot. After this creature is attacked, it sets the enemy stats equal to its lowest stat. That's amazing. That's an interesting provoke. I would like 0 of an attribute, please. I wonder if you can get anti-attribute stuff. Like, I wonder if you can get negative attribute on weapons, things like that, to try to aim for a stronger synergy there. Oh, wait. No. I want to inspect my animatus. 242. No! That means I'm not getting the buff that I thought I was getting this entire time. Which makes me feel extremely stupid. Very unfortunate. That is exactly what I would expect based on the artifact alone. So, my animatus... Oh, shit. I got a music thing. Sometimes I press, because I'm not quite used to piloting the auto-destruct yet. I did not see what I got. What else I got. So, oh, I actually haven't, I haven't looked at those little guys yet. Well, that's fine. We want to find a stat stick for my, okay. We want to find a stat stick for my guy anyway. Covers a small amount of health or a massive amount if it has mending. Interesting. Whole party has mending, so that's nice. Inner destruction. Cast by enemies at the start of their turns. Inner destruction. That's awesome. Shit like this is fucking, like... I'm sharing this with Adam. Over Discord, like, immediately. Like, this consumes a spell gem, but doesn't require you to manually cast it. Like... It's like, okay, well, on non-caster oriented builds, it's like, what else are you gonna do? And, you know. So, you're also kind of like, you can throw that on like a passive caster, right? Like somebody with a really high intelligence that has the correct class. Okay. I did not quite clear this out quite correctly. There we go. Did not manage to full clear it. Infernal Helmet. Bulwark. This creature and your creatures adjacent to it take 50% less damage. What? This trait does not stack. I don't care. That's crazy. 50% less damage. Yeah, if this doesn't get crazy hard, I'll eat my shirt. Because it's like, you know, the devs are probably like strongly fighting against like making things really hard at the beginning of the game based on what they're throwing at me for synergy stuff. Indiscriminate summoning, misery, murder of crows, vampirism. Really what I wanted to see here was the horrifying visage. At the start of the battle, this creature afflicts 3 random enemies with feared. This trait does not stack. Okay. So I can inspect my guy down here to learn what feared does. Cannot gain stats. Ooh. Ooh. Artifacts don't count as gaining stats, I'm betting. Willing to bet that your artifacts are not stats gained at the beginning of combat, so even if you start the combat feared, I'm betting you still get the buffs from your artifacts. So you gain knowledge based on, like, killing a monster, right? Or something like that? So I feel like you must gain more knowledge. There you go. Plus 5% resources from battle. Inscription, Curse of Doom. Emblem of Erebus. Nice, nice, nice. Okay. This is probably my last realm of the night. I'm so sad. Actually, it depends. If the next realm is the boss battle, I will probably just go do the boss battle real quick. Don't think it is though, right? I bet I could just shotgun 2 realms very, very quickly. But I actually also do want to... I do... I do want to put the... I do want to socket this trait slot. That seems awesome. Where is it? 5% more int for each spell that is cast by all creatures. Oh, that's so crazy. I wonder if I'm spending, like, really valuable stuff. It's the story boss, so we're going to go ahead. Achievement, Mysterious Realms 3. Okay. Alright, cool. So this is like actually a bunch of creatures we haven't seen before, basically. Let's see what's up. What do you do? Shadowcaster. Your creatures cast Death Spell as if they have 100% more intelligence. This trait does not stack. Okay, that's the Sacramony. Crazy. Artifacts, Boots, Decay, Enfeeble, Summon Death. Yeah, so these guys are These guys now have artifacts and stuff. Decay, Enfeeble, Summon Death. What are you? At the end of each enemy's turn, this creature is moved to the top of the timeline. Each enemy's... Really? That's crazy. That is actually wild. It's like one of the more powerful traits I've seen, I think. I get a turn in between each turn. each enemy turn. That's cool. That's crazy. After this enemy is afflicted with weak or vulnerable, this creature afflicts them with whichever of these debuffs the target doesn't already have. Enemy is afflicted with... Oh, okay, so you always get both. Doesn't seem like a great trait, but... Nightmare, Spreading Plague. Okay. Do we one-shot the Banshee is the question. I'm tempted to kill the Lich. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Everyone is disarmed. Any criteria. Uh-oh. Yeah, well, it made it. Animatus very big. That was quite a few levels. Holy cow. $50 perk points. Excellent. Okay. Something I haven't checked. I don't think you can once you beat the boss, you don't like you don't fight the boss again, right? So if I go back to this level, it's not like okay. Oh no, he's fair and just God, best known for his love of humans. Suspect that he will be glad to aid you in your quest. Yeah, there we go. Here's the base expansion. New project that will allow us to greatly expand the size of Siralim. Check it out if you're interested. Adam brought up like the base feeling cramped earlier today, and I'm like, yeah, I bet I'm almost entirely sure that, you know, you get to expand. So, how's my project coming along? How are we doing? Okay, I'm like right there. I just need one more blood candle. And then I can do the double projects thing, which will increase the rate at which I'm able to do more projects. Doing more so I can do more. Cool, that's just the emblems. Keeps track of the emblems on that currency screen as well. Nice. Wow, man, am I running slim on, running slim on Brimstone. I want to upgrade this chest eyes that's on my Colossfire brand, and then enchant the same one there. More charges, cascading, singular, cascading, I think. More charges is nice, but other guys are gonna run out first anyway. Okay. So yeah, there's no boss here anymore. If I go back to Realm 15, it is just It is just whatever it is. I thought there were some guys added to the pool at level 15. We'll see. Okay, I think that's got to be it for tonight, though. I am actually really pleased. I think, like, the game is shaping up. I am enjoying the mechanics. Like, I am enjoying the various systems that I'm uncovering. You know, there's not a whole lot to appreciate about the aesthetics or the lore. But, you know, this is a cute little sandbox monster tamer game that's, like, I mean, to call it little is kind of misleading. It's pretty massive. But anyway, I think I'm gonna save and restart. That'll bring me back to the home screen here. And yeah, that was you know, I'm enjoying it. Looks like kind of a mess, but I think I'm basically just, I'm a tinkerer and I'm going to enjoy this game because it facilitates my tinkering in a way that, you know, just tickles me. So we're gonna keep going. I'm going to try to make the world's largest animatus probably at some point. I don't know how I'm gonna do that because I have no idea what is available to me. But seems like lots and lots is the verdict. So I don't know. More interesting things in the future, hopefully. Thanks everybody and anybody who stopped by. You guys are awesome. I'll stream tomorrow night, I think, at the latest. So stay tuned for that. I'll probably be streaming this game a little bit more now. A couple hours a night, probably. I will post, I'll post it if I remember to do that. I'll try to remember. All right. Have a good night, everybody. Catch you later.